Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. Victory Tuesday. Victory Tuesday. 24-17. We won, baby. We won. Yeah, it was a lot of defense. The offense was pretty flat, but that's to be expected for now, right? That's to be expected. We don't expect Caleb to come out here like Superman and just save the day. We don't expect that right now. But as the first overall pick, we do expect that a few games down the line. But he gets a pass right now. But we won, baby. Let's enjoy it until we get back on that field. Then it's business as usual. We got the Texans. And they ain't gonna lay down. They ain't no punk. So we got some work to do. But the defense was swarming all over the place. Yes, the defense did save the day. So kudos to the defense, man. Tyreek Stevenson, he got him one. Jalen got him one. He sat down because that sealed the coffin. So yeah, man, big ups to the defense. It was entertaining. It was an entertaining game. And we have some great guests who actually do know what the hell they talking about. We have some great guests tonight. Talk about it from a defensive standpoint, and we'll talk about it from an offensive standpoint. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I was about to say who it was, but I'll wait. So, producer, let's go.
You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast, where they think they know everything, but honestly, they don't know shit.
These summer league games and they tell you about these new up and coming coaches.
I think we should get rid of every motherfucking owner in Chicago.
Enzo and Caruso both been there on the quarter like your defensive generals.
But they need to get that strong safety who's not scared to hit somebody.
They really don't know shit.
And we are back. And I already see we are not going to let JB on the screen. We are not going to let JB on the screen. You know why? Because he's wearing the Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. So, Mr. Producer, make sure JB does not get on the screen at all. So, anyway, guys, we have great guests. And I did not say the name before, but I will now. We have Bears alumni. Cameron Worrell is going to join us for the first part of the podcast. And then we have Bears alumni quarterback Erik Kramer joining us for the second half. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let me get my guys in here. First up, not the stat man. My man, who usually has that Hawk talk, but we ain't going to talk about no damn Blackhawks tonight. My man, Frank the Tank.
It's Bear season, man. There is no Hawk talk right now.
No Hawk talk.
There's no Hawk talk right now.
So,
and hey, a win's a win.
Yeah, win is a win. And shit, I love it. The defense saved the day. We need to see some offense, but shit, I'll take it, right?
How many times did we say on this panel where we were pump the brakes on Caleb Williams, guys? Relax. All right, give him some time to develop. It's a whole new system. Hey, he looked like shit. I ain't sugarcoating.
How much time we gonna give him? How much time we gonna give him?
I'm gonna give him at least a few weeks before I start seeing. I want to see progression. That's what I want.
Yes.
You better not do this again on Sunday.
A few weeks, because the expectation is still. It's still.
Yeah. Come on.
Playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Well, we won a game. So we are 1-0. We are undefeated right now.
And who's in last place in our division?
Right, Green.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah, man. Green Bay is in last place. I love it. So, all right. So, yes, fuck Green Bay. So, the mom of the podcast and also JB's mom.
The beloved mom of the podcast. Let
She
her
said
boy
that's
in.
not right to not let JB in because he got that Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. Even though it's Justin Fields, I don't give a flying fuck. But I respect my elders. And if mama said let him in, we're going to let him in. But I'm going to give him the proper introduction. My man, the stat man who knows every single stat from every single team, basketball and football, but he's wearing the wrong jersey tonight. And I really don't want to let him in, but we're going to let him in anyway. My man, JB.
It's all love up in here.
See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
What up, JB?
First of all, if you ever in your life, I will come to your front door and personally put myself on the show right next to you. That's first and foremost.
Now,
secondly,
this is the Chicago Clubhouse podcast. Why you got a Pittsburgh jersey on, man?
Hey, because my mama bought it, and until you buy my clothes, you can't tell me what to wear.
He sound like Martin. My mama bought it. Mama.
That's right. I got the gold embroidered Bears hat, so that's my tribute to the BS win, because that's what it was, a BS win. And I'm surprised that you all.
Wait. We'll talk about that when
I'm about to tell you.
No, hold
we
it.
can talk about it with whoever.
We can say a BS offensive win, sure, but I can't say a BS win after what I saw that defense do.
So let's bring in our guest, who I'm sure has something to say when you say a BS win, because he was a bit. So I'm sure every win that they got was not a BS win. It was a win. A win is a win. But let's bring him in. Cameron Worrell. Clap.
Cam, what up, man?
Welcome, Cam. Welcome.
What's up, fellas?
My man.
Man, was that Monday night win against the Cardinals when we came back without an offensive touchdown in the second half? Was that a BS win? Because
good question.
I don't think that was a BS win.
Now let me explain what I'm talking about. That was epic, but we talking about sexy Rexy, right?
And they let you off the hook.
And hear me and hear me good when I say this. I am happy for a win, but I will not allow anybody on this set to just propagate that win was just so exhilarating. That win was like this. Oh my God! Thank God the special teams got in there and got a punt block for a touchdown. Thank God Will Levis was too dumb to throw the ball away out of bounds when he already got outside the tackle box, and Tyreek Stevenson jumped a little ground ball. That's what I'm talking about. Let's live in the real. It was not they just came out and we dominated and whooped their ass. That's not what happened at all. We got some lucky breaks because at 17-0 going into halftime, everybody on this panel was a little scared. And don't tell me you wasn't. Everybody on this panel was a little scared, a little nervous. If not scared, definitely nervous.
I was
I don't think anybody said that we were
You're lying.
absolutely proud of the way that the Bears played football. We were glad for a win. That's what we said.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
I was
You can't have
not
it both ways. The same way we were saying, oh, the Lions didn't beat us. We beat ourselves with bad play calling, bad coaching. It's got to be the same way here. The football guys shined on us in the second half, and the football guys did not shine on Will Levis and the Titans. But other than that, up until the first half was over, they had our number. You cannot argue with that. We looked very, very bad. We looked very porous. We looked very lacklusterish. Now, credit to Matt Eberflus because he did a great job in the second half with the adjustments. I don't know if it was him or if it was the D coordinator, but some combination of the both. Cam, I like to see that because something wasn't clicking with the offense. So they was like, hey, look, fellas, defense got to kick it in. I love that about the Bears because there's always three phases to football. I would love to have a top 5 offense, top 5 defense, and top 5 special teams like the Greatest Show on Turf did, or like the Chiefs did when Patrick Mahomes had that 50 touchdown, 5,000 yard season. But guess what? This put me right back into the cold reality. We ain't there yet.
So
defense and special teams has to win the game.
JP is the guy that always sees the glass half empty. Always sees the glass half empty.
Man, it's
I'm
so
just a
hard.
realist.
It's so hard to win in the NFL. You have to celebrate every win. You can take a hard look at it and find areas of improvement, but a win is a win, period. You would feel much differently had that game been a loss than a win. Yes, the offense looked sluggish. Defense really didn't go until the second half. A blocked punt and a pick six is not a sustainable way to win football games in the NFL. I think we all understand that. But
a win's a win.
And there are 3 phases that all have to work together to win a football game. You can do it at times with 1 or 2, but you
need all 3 phases to win big football games.
Right. Against good teams. And is Tennessee good? I don't know. Their defense is legit. I think that defense is going to be good all season long. We'll see. Hey, the good thing is the test against the Texans, we'll know. If this is a playoff team or not, we'll know.
We're gonna wait a little till later in the show to get to that because I'm telling you what I saw, and again, we all agreed over the summer this year, 1, no more moral victories. We got to go out and actually win. So I'm glad the defense and the special teams went out and actually took the game. Right? 2, we all agreed that the media has already started a fail-safe for Caleb Williams because if he goes out and lights it up, told you that's what he was supposed to do. He the next Patrick Mahomes. He the next great thing. But if he messes up, what did we say to each other? It's not fair for y'all to say if he's supposed to be this icon of all icons, that if he messes up and pisses the bed, he does not get a pass for being a rookie. Because everybody's saying he the next CJ Stroud too. We're not going to do that on this show. No. He was very, very poor, and he looked like he didn't know what he was doing. He stared down Keenan Allen like they knew he was staring down Keenan Allen. Too many times other players was open. They didn't even play Cole Kmet 27 times. 27 snaps. How does the tight end that you just gave an extension to, and who's your best blocking tight end, how does he only play 27 snaps?
Yeah, I didn't understand that for sure.
So it's a combination, and everybody can't say coaching. The young man, because I almost called him something else, the young man was 14 of 29. Had that been Justin Fields, they'd have called for torches and pitchforks, and y'all know that.
All right, this is where I'm going to come back with you on that one really quick. They would not have come back on Justin Fields with pitchforks if that was week 1 of his first NFL career start. All right, that's where I'm going with this. All right, he played shit. I am not denying that whatsoever. He played very, very poorly. And not one person on this panel has said that we expected Caleb to just light it up right from the get-go. Media different. Nobody gives a shit what the fucking media says. I don't give a shit what the fucking media says.
He did.
I give a rat's ass what the fucking media says. But the difference is We said that we were going to. You need to give Caleb time. Need to give him time, and we have a very, very good safety blanket right now with our defense and our special teams. As long as Velus Jones isn't catching kickoffs or punts, we have very successful special teams.
Cam, there was one gentleman who will remain nameless on this show who expected Caleb to kill it week one. Don't let him change him.
Not the first game.
I actually expected I actually said we were going to have a defensive touchdown and we were going to have a special teams touchdown. I didn't say a block punt touchdown. I thought it would be a kickoff for a touchdown. But I did say we were going to have a high-scoring win, too. I expected Caleb to do better than what we saw. There's no question about that.
Yeah. And
I said I just want to progress.
I think it's really tough on a rookie quarterback making his first start when you can't run the ball at all. And you get put in third and long in the NFL is hard. That's a hard down to convert on a regular basis. And that's where the Bears were all game long. So his performance looked worse because he was in those obvious passing situations where you can play coverage or you can heat him up a little bit. Like those are tough to win. Those take a long time for quarterbacks to be comfortable in those situations and win continually. Like look at the 49ers last night. Everybody loves Brock Purdy. He's so efficient. He's so accurate. They run the shit out of the ball and make it easy for him. So had the Bears been able to run the ball at all yesterday, which they did, maybe they popped one run, then I don't think Caleb Williams looks as bad as he does. But when defensive coordinators have you and they know that you have to throw the football to convert, they're going to make it really, really tough. And if the Bears can't run the football for the first 6-8 weeks, that's what Caleb Williams is going to look like. I don't think he's going to look that bad. Like first start, that's a lot, but he won't look great if he gets put in those obvious passing situations on a continual basis. It's really hard to win like that in the NFL.
Yeah. And yeah, you said it perfectly on that one, because when it comes down to the running game and everything, and this wasn't even defensive ends putting in pressure. Like I have never seen such a straight up ass whooping right up the middle. And I can't even tell you. And we had some bad centers these last few years. I have never seen something as bad as what I saw. I even saw Tevin Jenkins on his ass a few times. Like our guards got destroyed as well. Our edges did pretty good. I didn't see too much pressure coming on the outside.
Was he worse than Mustafa? Was he worse
as of week one, he was worse than fucking my grandma.
Yeah, he was. He was terrible.
Like that was. I've never seen such a bad performance.
He was so bad. He was so bad, man.
Let me tell you something. There's one play where the linebacker came on a straight blitz up the middle and just pushed dude over like a sack of potatoes. And
a linebacker too. It wasn't a fucking nose.
This is like what we've been doing for like the last 6 years at center. Like, can we draft a center, Cam? Like, can we draft an Olin Kreutz, please?
Yeah, Olin Kreutz was a special dude, man.
Can we draft a Creed Humphrey? Please.
I think this was, look, Tennessee, they invested in the interior of their defensive line. That's where they made an investment, and they had a big advantage. Like Ryan Poles has done a fantastic job building this roster. I think the one area that we all probably thought he would be a little bit ahead of where he is that offensive line, because he understands it as well as he does. But Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, do you pick an offensive lineman at 9 and not have that weapon? Do you trade back and not take Caleb Williams? Like, we could have the Justin Fields discussion. We had that last time when it was live, and I still don't really know where I stand on that. I hope he has success. I don't mind the Steelers.
I want to filter on draft
Fields jersey because I like him. I think he can have success. I really, really do. So he could have done different things, but if you don't think you have the dude that can lead your franchise to the Super Bowl, then you get that dude at number 1, and that's what he did. And unfortunately, he has weapons: DJ Moore, Keenan, Rome, Odunze, Cole Kmet, who they extended, but that offensive line is still probably that last piece that they'll continue to build. Are they ready this year to compete for a Super Bowl? I don't think so. I hope to make the playoffs too. I think they have everything in place if Caleb Williams plays well to make the playoffs. I really do. The NFC North will be tough, but Jordan Love is banged up. The Lions are good. I mean, watch them on Sunday night. They are good. But, if you look at the way teams have built, the Lions went out and got a bunch of secondary help this year because they were that piece away last year. So the Bears are just not quite there. I think they're going to be really competitive. Caleb's going to get better throughout the season. What I hope doesn't happen is the heat of the Chicago fans and media and everything that can really strangle the development of a young player. I just hope that doesn't happen to Caleb Williams because everybody's rightly so excited about having this type of a dude at quarterback. Justin Fields was that guy, and Caleb Williams, I think if you look at him, has a better skill set, a different skill set, more sustainable skill set. I just hope people don't turn on him too quickly because it takes time. Unless CJ Stroud is an anomaly. He's a monster.
That doesn't happen every rookie. Matter of fact, I don't think any rookie has ever come out and done what CJ Stroud done. I think that's like the only time ever in history really that's ever happened to that degree. But I digress because I'm passionate about my team. I really, really am, as you well know. But what I cannot allow to happen is that we just get pigeonholed because, Cam, we've had hope and a prayer when you were playing, after you were playing, before you, and it's like I've seen this story too many times already. And I get it. The kid is a rookie, and we said the main picture, the mainstream media needs to pump their brakes and hope he just plays and manages the game. He didn't even manage the game. I'm talking about clean pocket, throwing ground balls. They talk about Justin wasn't reading the quick read. I've seen him lock on. It's a play I sent to Frank because I watched all the breakdown. Give me all of it. I watched him lock on the out and up and sail it to Keenan Allen, where all he had to do was check to the backside. DJ Moore would probably still be running right now. That's how butt naked he was. And I'm saying when you have that, I hate when you have those one-read quarterbacks because then you're not really reading. You're not really reading the field. And that makes the defense's job real easy. Am I mistaken?
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Hey, my boy Chris Harris was coaching that secondary up for Tennessee, former Bear, so he knows what he's doing. He knew he had a rookie quarterback.
Boys was rocking,
making his first
they
start.
They dropped 3 picks, remember? Too.
And they have dudes too. Like I'm telling you, that defense is good. I don't know how good that offense is going to be, but that defense is going to make life hard for a lot of teams this year. So we'll see.
Put it this way. If Will Levis throws that ball away and that pick six doesn't happen, it's a good chance we lose that game.
Hey, Brian Callahan said if they punted on 1st and 10, they probably would have won. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about.
Because they was in field goal range. They at least would have kicked the field goal,
Yeah, I mean, we can say this. Caleb, rookie quarterback, first ever NFL start. I hope it's not as bad as what we saw again. But Will Levis is a dumbass. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And that was the second time he did that. The first time he did that, like, it literally landed like a couple inches in front of our guy. Like, he got lucky on that one, and he did it a second time.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, you have the lead. Our offense ain't doing shit, and you do that. Like, oh my God.
And I'm sorry, Cam, like you said about the running game, I want to get back to that with you for a little bit, playing on the defense. When you know they're pass happy at that time, you guys can sit back and just react because now Swift getting the ball, well, not getting the ball, but carrying the ball 10 times is nothing. That's an easy day at the office.
and not only as a secondary are you keyed into the pass, but as a pass rush, like, it's time to go. That you can pin your ears back. Yeah, that's it. And that's real. Like, that is real. So, like I said, when you're in those obvious passing situations, when a team can't run the football, they become one-dimensional. And then all the exotic stuff you want to do, all the sim pressure stuff, all the crazy looks that you want to put in, you can because you're not worried about the run game. You can do all those things and make it even more difficult for somebody like Caleb Williams. We'll see next week. I mean, D'Amico Ryans, pretty straightforward, kind of cover 3 guy. I don't think they do a lot of exotic stuff. That offense is really tough, but I don't think it's going to be as tough of a test on the Bears offense as it was this past week. And the Texans are a better team, but they're not as exotic defensively.
I think the big question mark though, Cam,
as Tennessee does.
Yeah, I think the big question mark though, Cam, is they got the pass rushers. They got that dominant dynamic dual pass rushers. So I'm worried about Braxton Jones. I'm not gonna lie. I'm worried about that blind side of Caleb Williams, but I need to see more like movement from Caleb Williams inside that pocket, like calls, like play action type calls. But I mean, if the run game's not working, you can't fucking use play action really either. So I mean, what the fuck are we gonna do?
Hey, but Frank and Cam, let me tell y'all this. If you all remember last year, because all the Texans really were missing last year, besides CJ being a rookie, was a running game. Joe Mixon just went for 162. And Joe Mixon historically does give the Bears problem. But on that defensive side, before we even just worry about Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, don't forget their tackles are like Trailer and Washington again. Because that Fatuki guy, what? And then they got Edwards. Don't forget they got Derek Stingley Jr. and Jalen Petrie and Jimmy Ward in the secondary. Man, Bubba Sparks had a song called "It's Getting Ugly." I think we're about to play it.
Yeah, I just looked at their defense. I don't think that I realized they had added some pieces to that defense.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Not just adding a wide receiver, then they went and added defense.
Yeah,
damn, dude.
It's going to be a good test.
He's big. He's huge.
I'm thinking you're going to see a lot of 2 wide receiver sets in this game, mainly also because we're probably not going to have Odunze as well with his injury. So we might see a lot of 2 tight ends in this game.
Hey, we might not. I heard we might not have Keenan too. Keenan's getting looked at.
I didn't hear any update from Keenan actually.
What
was the update with Keenan?
I think we're gonna see a lot more running game from the Bears. I think we're gonna see
try
a lot more Swift. Hopefully, he's not trying to leap over everybody, because if somebody cleans his clock, it's over with. It's over with for him doing that shit.
But, yeah, I don't know. Some RPO game can always alleviate some of that. Then you put the decision in Caleb Williams' hands. He can hand it, he can keep it, or you have a one-on-one matchup based on what that backside linebacker does. That's just an easy solution. You don't have to run the ball effectively then, but those RPO, a quick slant for 6 on first down, that's essentially taking place of a run game. So, a little bit more
run game.
Right, a little bit more of that. And then just make that read easy for him. He was probably seeing ghosts on Sunday. Like he didn't throw one, luckily, but he did not look like he was comfortable really any point in that football game. So do some things to make it simple for him. Throw the ball on first down. You don't have to run it right into a stacked box. Throw the ball on first down. 5 yards is a win on first down. Now you're not in 3rd and 7. You can be in 3rd and 3, and you have a much better opportunity.
Right. You never
absolutely
3rd and long.
Not in this league. Not with those pass rushers that Houston has. Not with. Really, people put money into getting after the quarterback. Like that's how it goes now. So you don't want to give those guys multiple opportunities every single series to just go after your quarterback. It's not a way to win a football game.
Right. So I saw that Lance Briggs, he usually gives grades to the offense, defense, all the aspects of the game. What would you grade the defense?
I would give the defense an A, because even though they gave up 17 in the first half, they gave up a lot of rushing yards, like I don't even know what they gave up, 116 or 120 or something, and they gave up 20 in the second half. If you pitch a shutout in the second half,
had that kind of 2 intermediate runs, remember? So that kind of added to it. They were doing pretty good until Pollard popped like a 20-something and then like 2 19s or something like that.
Yeah, if you pitch a shutout in the second half and you score a touchdown on defense, that's an A because you win the game, and you don't win the game without that effort from the defense. So the first half was slow, but I'm telling you, pitch a shutout against an NFL team in a half, even the Titans with Will Levis, that's a great performance. What did Lance give him?
Lance gave him an A-. He gave the defense A-. Now, I think I already know what you would give the offense based on what you said, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What grade would you give the offense?
Yeah, that was an F. I mean, it was. How many points did the offense account for? You had field goals, you had defense. Yeah, that's an F.
Yeah.
Lance probably gave him an F too.
Oh, yeah. Lance gave him an F. He gave him an F.
That Lance one was dead on.
He was probably a B because you did have the block punt and you did score, but you also gave one up. You turned it over, so it can't be an A.
Oh, that guy.
So
that guy.
What did he give?
You know what? I guess you're right because the Pollard, because remember he threw one and Pollard ran one in. So they gave up a rushing touchdown and they gave up a passing touchdown. But I think the fact that they didn't fold, because that could have really gotten ugly. And they didn't fold. I say if I can meet somewhere between Cam like a B plus A minus, I think we can kind of agree that they played a little bit better than they played better in the second half than they did in the first half for sure.
Yeah.
But like you said, those gas plays, that hurts. And
I mean, don't get me wrong, those defensive those long plays too. Let's not forget, let's not give credit to the offense on that one because they were putting the defense right back out there on the damn field with 3 and outs as well. Early preseason, or you didn't play too much in preseason as well. I hate that they don't play in freaking preseason.
They're so slow.
Yeah, you can tell. You watched that 49ers and Jets game last night. The 49ers worked in training camp. The Jets did not work in training camp. That was the difference last night. The Jets got bitch slapped, and I think that's a good defense.
They did. Without McCaffrey, that dude Jordan Mason, is that his name?
Yeah.
He was running all over their ass.
Looked like Marshawn. Really looked like number, hair, all of it. Making guys miss, running guys over. It was impressive. But man, they pushed him around.
And then Debo,
you can tell who works and you can tell who doesn't work.
That's why we said the preseason does matter. That 4-0 cute shit, I don't care about that. You have to play football.
I don't give a shit about
Purdy. First of all, Patrick Mahomes played more in the preseason than Caleb Williams did. That's troubling to me because guess what? They ain't trying to protect the GOAT. Let him get out and get that stuff out. That's why he looked a little bit sharper. And this was a bad week for a lot of. Let me go on record. This was a bad week for a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I think only
Mahomes
two.
is a tough motherfucker. That's not really a good comparison.
No, what we're saying is if you gonna put somebody in bubble wrap, it's gonna be the GOAT. Let the rookie
but
get.
Andy Reid doesn't play like that, and I respect that.
Right, but Cam, I wanted to ask you this because now with the preseason gone, how many games do you give Caleb Williams? Because he struggled against a good defense against the Titans. He's about to go up against a great defense against the Texans. And then no matter what his outcome is, good or bad or indifferent, after that, I saw the Colts go toe-to-toe with the Texans, and the Colts looked pretty damn good.
Colts did have a good game.
This first 4 games is going to be he going to have to show and prove.
I mean, I think you just want to see improvement every week. And I don't really know what that looks like because I think Caleb Williams will flash and he'll have some big games where he'll look like he has it all figured out. And then he'll regress a little bit and look like he's confused and not be accurate and make poor decisions with the football. I think that's just life as a rookie quarterback who, like you said, he didn't really get a lot of time in the preseason. Like, he hasn't seen these looks. He hasn't seen the speed of the game. Like, the positive thing about playing on the West Coast is everybody's fast.
True.
Skill guys. But the guys up front, the second level defenders, it's just not quite the same. You get to that league and everything happens so much faster. So just progression. He makes good decisions with the football. He understands the plan. He attacks the defense in the right way. I don't know what that translates to. I don't really know what that looks like, but when you see it, you'll know. If he looks like Sunday and it's week 10, then that's an issue. Right? If he's not looking if he's not looking like a guy that you can rely on towards the end of this season, where you can put a game plan in his hands, let him make decisions at the line of scrimmage, put more of the onus of success on him making post-snap decisions. If you can't do that, then this is kind of a wasted year. And what does that mean for him? I don't know. But I expect at the end of this year, regardless of where the Bears are, I think they'll be in the playoff hunt. Caleb Williams is going to be the guy who is leading that offense, who they are relying on a weekly basis to make plays to put them in positions to win football games.
Absolutely.
If the run game's not working, they can do something else and still have success. That's what I expect from him at the end of the season.
They should. That should be their calling card. And I want to address Illinois Jones in the chat. Nobody said to bench the number one.
I don't think that's what I found. I don't think anyone
what
said
we're saying is, until he proves that he can carry that load, find another way. Like Cam said, find another way to win. Hell, run the ball 30 times. Joe Mixon just had 30 rushes. He carried the ball 30 times. What's wrong with Swift and Herbert and some combination of all three? Hell, Travis Homer ran the ball twice. I don't know why, but he did.
I think they really wanted to try to get a muscle guy in. So.
Now, hold on. Hear me out. Instead of giving Homer and Velvet Jones and all that stuff, I'm thinking they're just
Velvet Jones. I agree
to the wall to see what's there. But you didn't even give Swift enough time to get.
No, we
so
didn't.
Those extra,
Swift didn't play hardly.
Let's call it.
He's hurt.
Give that to Swift.
He's hurt. As he always is.
Give those carries to Swift. The longest pass play was 19 yards, and all Caleb did was catch the snap, of which he fumbled multiple snaps, by the way. I want to point that out. And soft tossed it ahead to Swift, and he ran from
a lot of those weren't his fault.
I mean,
because Coleman Shelton sucks.
We can't really give credit to that center.
He does. He sucks.
I want to flip a little bit to the defensive side with you, Cam. I felt like we haven't really talked too much defense right now. Like, I mean, in my opinion, I think the best move that Ryan Poles made this offseason was going out and getting us a pass rusher on that outside who, after seeing Montez Sweat and getting double covered the entire game, that guy shined.
Yeah, I think Ryan Poles has done a great job. Like, I know I keep saying that, but, I think he's got it. I think he understands it. And, what did he trade? He traded a 6, right? He traded a 6 and 2 sacks yesterday.
Oh, right. Taylor, 21, the kid from Seattle.
Yeah. 21 in 3 years.
Monster.
Right? He's done a really nice job. I thought the Claypool trade was a positive. That was a bust, right? He did not. He fucked up.
Tried and failed.
Yeah.
Like who knew that dude really didn't want to work, because he's a physical specimen. He should be way better than he is. But he's done a nice job of those types of, and that's why I'm a little surprised that he hasn't been able to do that on the offensive line. I think he's done a good job. I think they've kind of pieced it together, but you can find a guy that opening week 2 sacks, he traded a 6th for him, and he was productive in Seattle too. It's not like he wasn't productive there. He's able to find, those guys with a lot of value that make an impact. So yeah, the defense has never really been, something that we didn't think they would perform at top 10, definitely top half of the NFL all season long. Their secondary is solid. Jalen can, if he has to track a number one guy, he can track a number one guy. I think their second level defenders can run and hit, and they can cover. They bring in the nickel guy. He can match up. I think they can do a lot of different things and have a lot of success defensively. And I think what we saw in the second half is a defense that we'll see all year. We'll see again. The good thing about the NFL, man, I was at the big house with Fresno State a couple weeks ago. Should have knocked Michigan off, didn't get it done. But, you don't get tested like that every week. In the NFL, man, it's every week. Like you find out quickly what you are all about. And I think this will be a great test on the road with the Texans because they're a playoff team. Their trajectory is, they're straight up with all the pieces that they have. So I'm interested to see how this Bears team reacts to going down and facing a playoff team from last year who is only better.
Now, I will point this out, Cam and crew, because Montez Sweat getting double teamed. Obviously, with Hardy coming, they're going to start once they get a little bit more footage and tape on them. They're going to do this or that. But to me, like just the pure tackling between Edwards and Brisker, they were all over the field. I want to give some credit to Javon Dexter too, because he was eating up a lot of double teams. And he actually got some good penetration. He only got the one sack, which was great. But I want to give a little credit to him too, because remember, this was a prove-it year for him as well, being that first on the depth chart for the 3 technique. So I think he's pivotal, especially against a team like the Texans who are willingly running the ball, right?
Yeah, to let your second level, just think about my rookie year was when they traded Ted Washington to New England, and and Urlacher was like, "Come on, man! Like that dude just kept me clean all game long and let me do my thing." When you have a guy who can do that, it just allows your second level defenders to run free. It allows them to get their job done, and that 3 tech. Tommy Harris was different. Tank Johnson, they were a little bit different. But Ian Scott, he started. He was the first 2 downs. He would play in running situations because he was able to eat up space and allow Briggs and Urlacher to get downhill and make plays. That's what those guys do. And sometimes it's unsung. That's what the big dude from Texas did for the Titans on Sunday. Devontae Stratton just ate up space. And sometimes you don't get credit for that.
For the dirty work.
But those guys make an impact. It doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. But, man, when you have linebackers with double-digit tackles, you know that those dudes up front are eating up blockers.
That's the formula right there. That's the formula. And like you said, allow your linebackers to hunt. I still think that philosophy rings true here, although we are in nickel most times. But I think we're going to be in nickel most of the game this time anyway, because remember, Houston has a 3-headed monster. Not to mention Dalton Schultz is not bad at tight end either. He's pretty solid, So this is not going to be – if we were tested by the Titans, we might fail that test against the Texans. But it's okay as long as we learn.
Right. Yeah, it's a big test. Getting a win at home. I didn't realize that the Bears have won like 8 straight home games. Is that right? 7 straight home games, something like that. Going back to last year, that's wild. I didn't realize that. Road tests are always tough, especially when you have a young quarterback, right? The one thing that you hope you can rely on is that this defense can limit Houston. Houston's going to move the ball. They can run it. They can throw it. CJ Stroud makes good decisions, but all right, make them kick field goals. Don't let them get into the end zone. Give yourself a chance to stay in the football game. That's what I hope to see. When that field shrinks, it gets a lot harder to move the football. So, and that was our philosophy. And I'm not bringing this back all the way to 2006, but hey, move the ball between the 20s. We don't really care. Like we're trying to limit you, get the ball back for our offense. But if we can keep you out of the end zone and make you kick field goals, we're going to have a chance to win regardless of how the other side of the ball performs. And that's got to be the recipe for the Bears going in on Sunday. Hey, man, Don't give up big touchdowns. Make them earn it and when they get into the red zone to score touchdowns. Otherwise, make them kick field goals. We saw so many field goals in week 1 because, defense is usually a little bit ahead of the offense at this point in the season, especially now that they don't really play a lot of the preseason. So you kind of expect that. So we'll see. Well, it's a big test. I'm excited for this one on Sunday. This is a, 2 1-0 teams. One who's expected to win a division.
A watch party for this one.
One who's supposed to compete for a landing spot. We'll see. Justin Fields getting the second start too.
Hey, 4th round draft pick. Here we come. I want
to beat Russell Wilson now. That's what I think. He's not hurt. He can't handle getting benched.
So you think, and I shouldn't be talking about this, but I'm talking about it anyway. So you think that Justin Fields is going to be the starter for the remainder of the season? Well, for the season, because it's only been 1 game.
Yeah, I think he was the guy that they wanted to go with, and Russell Wilson magically appeared with a calf injury. He was in his shoulder pads, right? I think he was saying, "Look, man, I'm not hurt. I
thought if you're inactive, you're not supposed to dress. Isn't that an NFL rule?"
That's what I thought. I don't know
if they're dressed. He was the backup quarterback.
If there's an emergency quarterback, like that is not active, that is dressed, I don't know those rules anymore. That's how it used to be. I don't know if it would. But if he goes in, you can't put another quarterback in. I don't know if they
can't put another quarterback.
Yeah.
So no, they still the only change is, huh?
You think Mike Tomlin had a plan from the beginning?
Yeah. I do.
I kind of do too.
I think Russell Wilson is washed, and I think Justin Fields just has not really been in a situation that has allowed him to have success. I don't think Justin Fields is a traditional quarterback that can sit in the pocket and go through progressions and beat a defense, but the skill set that he possesses, I've always felt the best coaches I had at that level, they fit their scheme based on the talent that they had available to them. And if they were good enough, they could do that. And I don't think Justin Fields ever got that in Chicago. They would do it from time to time, but they never just let him be him. And I think Mike Tomlin understands that for Justin Fields to be the best version of Justin Fields, which can be a quarterback with the defense they have and their ability to run the ball, they could be a playoff team and Super Bowl contender, that he has got to use all the skills that he possesses, and he needs a system to do that. So, I could be way off.
Arthur Smith has that system. Arthur Smith has that system. Remember what he did for Ryan Tannehill when the Titans went to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. Yeah, moving him around, making reads easy, using his legs as an asset. Like, you don't have to run him 20 times like Lamar Jackson did on Thursday night. Like, that's not sustainable. But Justin Fields is a different type of athlete at the quarterback position. Use that to your advantage.
Agreed.
The Bears, I felt they did it at times, but they never really embraced it.
They kind of did it when we had that 6-game stretch of him scoring 30+ points,
right? And
then they stopped. They went back to the traditional one that Getsy wanted to work.
Because Luke Getsy's an idiot.
They opened against the Packers. There was a lot of excitement. I don't know if it was last year or the year before.
That was last year's opening day.
Okay. Justin Fields made a lot of improvements. I think he's comfortable, and they put him in a box. And they did that for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, and it didn't look good.
He's not a pocket quarterback.
Just let him do his thing. Well, we'll see. We're talking about the Bears, not the Steelers.
Right. So let's get out the Steelers.
Amen to that.
So, Cameron, before we let you go, I want to ask you this, and we've been asking this to a lot of people. What is your final record? Early prediction for the Bears.
Dang.
Do we still have the schedule?
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me pull the schedule up. Do I have time to pull the schedule up?
We got it right here. There it is right there.
So the home games are dark. The away games are in red.
Ooh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10-7.
10-7.
10-7. Wild card.
It's exactly what I picked them. 10-7
Okay.
wild card.
Yeah.
All right. That's positive.
I popped off on a show a couple weeks ago and said they're going to win the NFC North, and then I watched Detroit last night and
they
or
decided
Sunday night, and I was like, I don't think they're ready. They're not ready for that test yet.
I don't know.
The Lions are better.
They should have beat Detroit both games last year, though. Let's not forget that. But I mean, if there's one thing I will say about that, if there's one thing I should say about that Detroit game is David Montgomery is a beast, and we let him walk.
And Jamar Gibbs is a beast too.
Gibbs is that's a great 1-2 punch right there.
Yeah, and that they couldn't cover last year, and I think they can cover this year. You know, like they invested in the secondary, they drafted some guys. They're better.
We're just gotta hope that they're
good.
still Detroit and they're gonna fail when they have high expectations because that's normal Detroit line.
It's in the blood. It feels different to me. I've never felt this about Detroit. It feels a little
different. It's because their coach makes you feel different.
I thought Dan Campbell was not the dude. I thought he was full of shit, but that is just the way he is. He is 100% a maniac, and he's up front and forward about being a maniac, and it works. I don't remember. I saw a clip of him in training camp last year, and he was like, look, man, if we didn't have to hit, if we didn't have to tackle, if we didn't have to do this, I wouldn't do it, but we have to do it, man. I promise you there's a plan. Trust in the plan. I was like, yeah, man, I'll go to bat for that dude all day long. All day long. And you see it. Like he turned a perennial loser into a Super Bowl contender. That's hard to do. Very hard.
Which if he just kicked field goals, they would have been in the Super Bowl.
They would have. You're right. They totally would have. They would have.
Just take the points.
You don't have to be the guy that goes for it every time, right? Like you don't have to. That doesn't have to be your idea.
Not in the playoffs.
No, not with a
Definitely
big lead.
not in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, that was. Yeah, I guarantee he won't do that again. If he's in that position in that game, he's not going to do it. Yeah, nobody likes the Lions, by the way, but the toilet. Yeah, I love it. Nobody likes the Packers. Like we hate all of them, but the Lions are good.
We hate them, but we gotta respect them.
Right,
we have to respect them.
I don't respect the Packers. I don't have to respect them. I'll never respect them.
No, they're gonna make us respect them. They're gonna make us respect them.
From Mikowski to Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Love, I never respect them.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Fuck the Packers. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, did I tell you the story of my first game at Lambeau? Did I tell that story last time?
Oh God, please tell us again.
It was my rookie. It was my rookie year. It was like the second week of December. We were still like technically in the playoff hunt. I think we ended up like 6-10, but had we won out, we were still there. And so the Packers were leading the division, and it was like a afternoon game. And when we ran out for kickoff, I'm like, dang, there's a ton of Bears fans here. Like, this is crazy. I didn't think it would be like this. I thought it'd be all Packers fans. And one of the vets was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, all this orange in the stadium. It's crazy. All these Bears fans are here. And they're like, bro, they're wearing hunting gear. Those are Packers fans. They just look like they're Bears fans because they're in orange and it's like 14 degrees outside. I was like, oh, okay. So every game after that, I was like, oh yeah, this is wild. They are not Bears fans. No, it was crazy. It was fun.
That's funny. Usually, though, Bears fans travel pretty well, but I don't know if
they're one of the top traveling teams.
Yeah. Oh man, when we were winning in 06, like most of the games on the road, we had more fans than the home team. No doubt about it. Oh yeah. Not Lambeau, but still Lambeau. There were a lot of Bears fans that year, but all over. Just that Cardinals game, Detroit, Minnesota, there were tons of fans. It was cool. Jacksonville, Tennessee, that game that we won, another game without scoring an offensive touchdown. Bears fans travel, man. When the Bears are winning, they're all about it.
Tennessee, was that the Peanut Tillman punch show that he had like 4?
Oh, that was a couple years after that.
That was after. Okay.
RW took a punt back, and Michael Haynes actually returned Michael Haynes had a pick 6, and then we won in overtime on a safety. Like that's how.
That's okay. I was about to say,
Michael
that's the safety
God.
net.
I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
That was that Kerry Collins?
No, it was my boy Billy Volek, Fresno State dude, Billy Volek.
Oh,
Billy
Yeah.
Volek.
Yeah, Billy.
Oh
Volek.
my God.
Hey, Caleb Williams, first quarterback to win his first start week 1 after being the number 1 overall pick since David Carr, 2002, my Fresno State teammate.
Right.
That's crazy. 22 years.
Right. That's a long time.
Celebrate that. 22 years since the number 1 overall pick won in week 1.
Yeah, that's insane.
Even though he threw for 92 yards.
Yeah, right. I was about to say.
He
when
got
they
the W.
fucked it
man.
up.
I don't know if you
Doesn't
heard that.
matter. Doesn't matter.
A W is a W. Yep.
That's right. I tweeted at Packers fans. Bears are now making quarterback history. So sorry about it. It's not just you. It's now us. Even though I threw for 92 yards.
I'll take
92
that.
yards.
I'll take that.
But hopefully he's going to do much better against Houston. But
I think so.
It might be a little tough, though.
I think so.
It might be a little tough.
It's a big stage, game 1 at home, all the expectations, number 1 pick, all that stuff. It's a lot, you know.
Yeah, I know that he keeps saying that he doesn't let
he
that
was
stuff
built
bother.
for it, though. Oh, Keith, you cut it out.
And then Houston, man,
What was Justin Fields' hate? I don't get the Justin Fields hate, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of Caleb Tramp stampers in here.
Oh, wait. Is he hating on Justin Fields again, man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
92. We can
Hey.
say 92 yards the huge, but he probably had 150 rushes.
Didn't y'all just let him back in the group? Did we just
All I
let
know
him back in the group?
Hey, that's what Keith
all I know
does,
is
man.
Justin-
We love Keith's comments.
Justin passed
Most
for
of them.
over 70% completion percentage, 156 yards passing and 50 yards rushing, and they won. Same thing. Caleb, he didn't do good. The defense bailed him out. They won. Two things are not the same.
Justin is gone, man. He's not a Chicago Bear anymore. Why we still hate on this dude?
I don't
Yeah,
get
I don't know why we
it.
gotta keep
I don't
hating on
get
it.
it.
If anything, we should be giving him nothing but positives because we want that 4th round draft pick. I want him
Except
starting
for
and
wearing
doing well.
the Pittsburgh Steelers jersey on the podcast.
Brother,
At least the hat matches. That's all I can say about it. At least the hat goes.
Yeah,
At least the hat goes.
That's cool. That's cool, but yeah, man. You know what? I'm gonna look for a Steelers podcast just for you. Just for you.
There's some out there, and they love Justin. I've watched a few of them. They love Justin there. So,
Well, that's great. Man.
Hey, but
Justin
yeah,
is
he ain't
good.
a Bear. Wish him the best, man.
All
He
my
ain't no
thing
Bear.
is this: when people were talking crazy, I just had to show and prove, like, hey, look, this ain't no different than what we just lost, especially for the first game. Let it go.
Fair point.
Let it go.
Thanks, JB. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, Cam, we appreciate you, man. We ain't gonna keep you on here forever, man. But thank you for coming on and giving us some perspective from a professional standpoint, because that, like I said in the beginning, we don't know what the hell we talking about. We didn't live this shit like you. So
No, man, you guys know what you're talking about. It's always a blast.
And you
Thanks for
keep
having
it
me.
real, Cam. Thank you. You keep
Yeah.
it real. We appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I love it, man. Appreciate you having me on. I love chopping it up with Bears fans. It's one of my favorite things to do. You guys love Chicago and the Bears so much, and
we do.
You know, I still get fan mail at home. People still send me stuff to sign, and like, you know, that was a long time ago, and I was a nobody, and people still send me stuff because Bears fans are die hard. And I love it and I respect it.
A nobody? What do you mean?
You were not a nobody. Stop it.
You're definitely not a nobody.
Missile.
You can maybe
You
throw
were
out there not
definitely one
that
of the
star
hardest
player,
hitters
but
I've
you were
seen on special
key
teams for
player.
sure.
I appreciate it. But look, most Bears fans have forgotten the name, and that's cool. But to still get fan mail from diehard Bears fans, I'm like, man, how can I not love the Chicago Bears fans? They're the best in the world by far. So I just wish that they could figure out the fucking quarterback position so we could get back to the Super Bowl and win one this time. That's all I hope for. That's it.
Yes.
Waiting a long time for that.
And you know what? Our next guest, we have one. Maybe we should get him back in a Bears uniform, and maybe we'll have it figured out. But Cameron, we appreciate you, man. We're gonna have you back
anytime.
We definitely want to have you back, man.
For sure. Maybe after a good Caleb Williams game.
Right. So we have some positives to talk about.
So next week we'll book it.
That's right. Next week. Yep. Next week.
Yes. And JB will not be wearing that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna buy him a Caleb Williams jersey. God,
it'd be kind of funny if you can blur out the jersey, though. That'd be kind of funny if you just.
He already said if you buy it for him, he'll wear it. So yeah, he said that when he came on.
You did say that.
I'm gonna get one from China for $25.
Appreciate you, fellas.
Thank you, Cam.
All right.
Appreciate
Take care,
you,
Cam.
man. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, put up what Dedrick Boyd said.
A lot of
Cam need his own show.
Yeah, Drake, that ain't true. We had the weapons before we traded them.
No, we didn't.
Cameron is great, man. I love having Cameron on, man. He does keep it real, and he's fun. He's entertaining.
He is.
But he has training because he's actually on TV. He's a commentator.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I said. He needs his own podcast because just the way he breaks the game. Because remember, he played with that Dick Duran defense, which was another highly touted Bears defense.
Fire defense.
Before the Urlacher, remember that was Warwick Coleman and Barry Minter and Rosie Colvin and Ted Washington Traylor and them. That was them boys.
Yeah.
Right? But right after they built the spaceship.
So why don't we do this before we get into our next guest, who's gonna totally break Caleb Williams' performance down, and I can't wait. Let's go ahead and go into this commercial because I got to go to the bathroom. I don't know about you guys.
Hey, man, we don't want to hear that.
So we don't want to see your jersey either, but we do.
So some people in the chat that do.
Producer,
some people
take
that
us
do.
out, man.
Yeah. 1 man, 2 man, 3. It don't make your LMS. Make LMS. Come they move like a disco. One nick in my lolata. Happy boss, happy actor. So they fucking me ball under. Oh yeah, come take a picture. Right, young fire. Oh yeah, follow my instruction. LMS, cut the smoke cannabis. Doctor say make a pop.
Yo, what you trying to be?
Double click that one.
Yo, what you trying to be?
King. Yeah, I said it. I'm trying to be king.
You crazy.
I'm real.
King of what?
Okay, bow down. Let the trumpet sound. Roll out the red carpet. 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 Roll out the red carpet.
That's it.
We are back.
So
looking all refreshed.
I want to address something real quick. Illinois Jones said, "How about them Panthers?" First of all,
what about the Panthers?
How the hell did do you know the score? They lost to the Saints 47-10.
All I know is I had the Saints defense on my fantasy team, so I was good. It was good.
What are we talking about?
I'm like, no, because he's saying the first round quarterbacks that might be a bust, like they're saying that like he might be a bust already. I mean, he was 13 of 30, y'all. Like
how about
just ain't it?
We talk to our next guest and get his opinion on that because he's a professional. He's lived it. We have not lived. Well, actually, JB, you play quarterback, so you kind of know what you're talking about. But let's go to Erik Kramer. He definitely knows what he's talking about. So let's bring him in. Erik Kramer.
Welcome back, sir. Welcome back. Suit up. We need a quarterback.
What's good, brother?
EK.
I wish I was young enough to still do
it. I don't think you would want to come back with this offensive line, though, if I'm not mistaken. Man,
I don't know, man. I didn't see too. There was a few plays that Tennessee played well, but Tennessee's got a good defense now.
They do. They have a dominant front.
Yep. Real solid and upcoming. Opportunistic too.
They do, and I think that. I mean, being a Bears fan. I was very excited about what I saw most of the game. And I think it's unusual for a defense and a special teams each to score in the same game. And then you had the long return. I mean, it was just a thorough beatdown. And offensively, to me, the team is it's got tons of ability everywhere, but they're all young. And obviously, Nate Davis, the combination of Nate Davis and Bates did not get it done at right guard. And that's an issue. So until it's no longer an issue, they're going to have a tough time. We're going to see some clips here where Bates literally gets thrown on the back of his head, pass blocking. You can't, and he's the guy that replaced the other guy. So that is an issue. But for the most part, I mean, I was telling somebody today, you can't fix all all the issues at once, but they certainly have shored up a lot of, in my opinion.
Mm.
And let me ask you this, Eric, because I know we talked about it before too. Like, I mean, what does not playing a lot offensively in the preseason have to do? Like, especially when you do have, you can say almost a completely new offense. Even the coaching is completely new on offense. Like,
yeah,
I was not a fan of them not playing that last preseason game. I was not, because then they had a long stretch before their next game.
I get it, and that's just the new NFL, though. So there's not one team. I don't care if it's a veteran team like the 49ers or if it's a young team like the Bears. Nobody's playing in a preseason, and so what it does to teams like the Bears is who have easily one of the top 5 defenses in the league, easily one of the top 5 special teams units in the league, in every category, like coverage kicks, return kicks. And I thought starting out that you're going to have some growing pains. A lot of this talent offensively is all young, except for Keenan Allen, who dropped the one and only. When's the last time he dropped a touchdown pass or just a pass?
I don't know if I've ever seen it, actually.
I don't know if I've ever seen him drop a touchdown pass.
Right in his fingertips, too.
Yeah. And
you
so.
You know what? It was like weird. It was like touchdown. Oh.
It's just it's like sitting there like he expected it to be a touchdown. He's celebrating before he actually caught it. Like,
my man can run some routes, right? I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the offense will come. My thought coming into the season is, and Caleb Williams specifically, if he can ride the coattails of an elite defense, I didn't know the special teams was going to be this good. And then just not lose games, not pull a Will Levis, and then gain some confidence with victories and become part of the process of getting better. By week 6, 7, 8, now you're damn near midway through the season. And now that's when he's going to, in my opinion, start to play consistently. What I'd like to see out of Caleb, and I think everybody would, was just consistent throws. This game is not that difficult. I mean, once you feel comfortable, you got to make quick decisions when you're dropping back. Your footwork's got to be right. You got to throw from good posture, and you got to deliver the ball accurately. That's it. If you expand from that, it would be simply that there's typically in any zone coverage, you're going to isolate one defender. So if it's cover 3, cover 2, there's one guy that's responsible for 2 areas. Simple. And most offenses these days, and for a very long time, have been designed to get one guy in conflict. And so the object of that game, it's like pickle. You want to make him wrong. So if he's not moving anywhere, just freeze him where he's at and throw to the opposite guy. And if he's moving somewhere, you use the route that he's going to help steer him continuing to go in that direction and throw opposite. And that's the one thing that I would say that you see the more consistent quarterbacks around, the Brock Purdy's of the world, and before him, Tom Brady, and Joe Montana before him, and so on. It's just that. But I think Caleb has all of that, but he's got to start playing consistently boring football, something that he didn't do a lot of in college. And I think that's the one thing I think that will bring him and the Bears offense some consistency is just get first downs. Make it simple. Like get a first down by a yard. That's it. If you throw 10 passes and 5 or 6 of them are through the progression, at some point it's the second, third guy, or maybe you run and you're getting first downs, that's how you get touchdowns. That's how you maintain possession of the ball. That's how your defense rests and so on. And I think he has it in him. And I you mentioned the coaching staff, and I think this offensive staff is a good one, and they will get there eventually.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly too with the defensive side of the things, like or not the defensive side, the college things. Like the one thing we always said on this panel when we drafted Caleb Williams was just we don't need the hero ball, especially not in your rookie year. We don't need the hero ball, and we did see a couple of throws where he was throwing completely off balance, hopping in the air to try to loft the balls in and everything. It's like, dude, just settle down, set your feet. You got a strong arm. Just fire that shit in.
And that's kind of my point is like when you've got 4 aces, okay, then hold that last ace. Don't play it first. And that's what he's doing. He's at times just read the progression out. Just go, from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and your feet and eyes kind of work together to get you there. Mm-hmm. And there's a rhythm and a fluidness that comes with playing that way, and you can see it. And you can also, it also becomes apparent that's not what you're seeing. And I think, by the way, let me just say this. For anybody to, in their first year of playing quarterback, to go out and look like they have a command of what's going on from day one is rare. So the CJ Stroud, I was going to say Strouds, there aren't. There's one. and is, not, that doesn't happen very often. So Houston, congratulations. But for the other quarterbacks out there, and Caleb, I'm talking to you specifically, is that just learn how to play consistently and make this be step one, and then improve on this and find specific ways, not a bunch of ways, 2 or 3 ways that you can improve from week 1 to week 2.
If I'm not, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on this. Patrick Mahomes as well. Like he didn't do all this hero type stuff that he's doing now in his rookie season. He kept it simple, went through the playbook, fired the balls in. Keep it simple, and if you want to get to that point where you want to be that guy, you got to get to that guy first.
Well, remember, I don't know how many years ago this was, 2 or 3 years ago. He became the other guy. Like he for a good 2/3 of a season, he was like, here's a wide open guy running to the flat that is your first read. Instead of throwing to him, look across the other part of the field and find nobody. Then run around, throw an incomplete pass, maybe an interception. And then eventually he got back to playing the way he's learned over the years. And the game truly looks like it's being played by the same guy, but at a different level. And that's what I think Caleb Williams will eventually get to. Remember, just, before anybody thinks about pulling the plug here, this is game one.
Yeah.
So
me personally, I don't think about pulling the plug.
JB,
hold on one second, JB.
I don't feel like it's pulling the plug, but
let me bring in our other guy who I'm sure has something to say about it. Foul Mouth C, who probably has the foulest mouth in the city. Come on, Foul Mouth.
I ain't got nothing to say. I've been back here for a half an hour chilling with Grogu and shit.
My bad, man. My bad. Go ahead, JB. I'm sorry, man.
So, Erik, I wanted to ask you, a lot of that inherently, I think, is just not in his DNA. I think he just plays big ball. Like he's a big game hunter. Like that's just what he does, right? How do you get that kid to slow down? And I say a kid, not disrespectfully, but in the realm of him being a rookie.
No,
how do you get him to slow down and not play hero ball? Because in the sense of what we watched, one game sample, not much, the hype didn't meet, the outcome, but he missed the simple stuff that you alluded to.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That doesn't have anything to do with big game hunting. That's just football.
Correct. And that's, I think, that comes with him, mainly him, of working within, like, offenses come with some structure, and they come on purpose with read your feet and eyes go to this guy, to this guy, to this guy, and so on. And you're reading the coverage along the way to do that. So before the ball is even snapped, when you've been doing this a while, you have a pretty good idea where the ball is going before the ball is ever snapped. And it's just a matter of not giving the surprise away to the defense before you deliver the ball. And then there are times when during the play itself, you, like I was alluding to before, you need to potentially freeze or move a defender. But typically the play itself will take care of all that. Like you just have to, I think this gets back to your point, JB, is does he have it in him to just keep the game simple? I was talking in this offseason with Dwayne Joseph, a former teammate of mine, who back at that time, he was with the Raiders as their, I think he was the head of scouting. And he's now with the Lions. And at the time, I said, who do you think should be drafted first? And he goes, you're not going to agree with me. And I said, well, try me out. He goes, not Caleb Williams. And I go, okay, why not? He goes, because he makes the game too difficult. And that's what we're talking about right now. And I think, there's that part of it. Can he get that out of him? Because he in a sense, he was right or is right. And and so I'm saying this, that I'm very optimistic, though, that Caleb is going to figure out very quickly that you have to play this game simply. You have to. or you're going to perish, and you're going to take the whole franchise and your own job down with you. And I think he's smarter than that, though. I think he'll get it figured out. I think the coaches and the players around him will help him get that figured out.
I hope so, E, because I know we, like during the game, we were chatting in our little chat, our Clubhouse podcast chat. And I was stressing that in the game, you know, we had a couple third downs and it seemed like he was going for the home run ball. And I said, why are you going for the home run ball? We don't need that right now. We down in the game. Get these first downs. You know, if you want to go for the home run ball, go for it on first or second down, not on third down where we don't get it. We're punting the ball away again, you know, or we don't get a couple yards closer to a potential field goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I agree with you.
Yeah. And another thing I didn't like was, another thing that came up. I remember draft day when he said we weren't going to need that punter a lot. That shit has come back to bite him in the ass, at least at the week one. And it's just more so, I don't mind a quarterback that's cocky, but sometimes we need to humble ourselves because he said he don't get nervous. It looked like that first game looked like he was totally fucking nervous. And I think it was somebody with Kansas City said, yeah, you don't get nervous? Yeah, holler at me after week one. I think he needs to go ahead and make that phone call and tell him how nervous he was because there were some wide open passes.
Like that one up the left sideline that he overthrew by 4 or 5 yards. Like, you don't get people that open very often. And so when you do, that thing's got to hit him in stride. And there
you go.
I'll just go back to saying this. I couldn't imagine myself. I was an undrafted free agent, and I went to New Orleans was the first team I went to. And the day I got there, I wasn't going to make that team. And I couldn't imagine having a grasp of the offense and the defense. I was literally trying to remember in practice where guys were going. And I wouldn't have kept me. And so that Caleb is, has some, let's call them huge growing steps to make. You can't make them all big steps. You know what I mean? Like the fundamentals of this whole thing are built sort of little by little by little and on a daily basis. And it's the mindset that you have that paves the way for you to get there. And so all I can say is, and I'm not saying this to be defending him, I'm just saying that having done it myself, it's a huge task he has. And I get how he gets drafted first overall, says, hey, we're not going to need the punter much, but and you're right that things like that are going to come back to bite him in the ass, and they have. But I think by and large, from what I've heard of him and heard him say, even after the game, I couldn't believe he had as much energy as he did after his first game, and I think that's a good sign. So. I think he will progress, but remember, progress doesn't you're not on this gradual, consistent, steady ascent.
You're going to hit your helmets, man.
It's a game of resilience. And that's a mental game. And so while you're working on trying to improve, you're also having to withstand your own inner self-doubt potentially. Certainly the doubt of other voices outside of you. And so the game is, how do you maintain that steady, consistent mental and physical approach?
Yeah. Well, that's got to come from within, though, right? Because he's got to have a little bit of humility.
You're right.
Because if I'm not mistaken, you can't get more humbling than this.
Right, but you're right. So here's a guy that didn't throw for 100 yards, on the negative side. Didn't throw a touchdown pass, but I'll put that more on Keenan Allen than on Caleb. But he didn't have any turnovers, and he made some.
Could have had 3.
Yeah, he had a couple that should have been picked, but
got you. You're right. And had he had a turnover, the outcome for sure would not have been what it was.
100%.
But that goes to show you the power of not having turnovers, meaning typically that means you're making good decisions and you're protecting the ball, whether it be throwing it, catching it, running after the catch, whatever. And, teams that have good fundamentals and don't turn the ball over give themselves a chance to win every single game. Case in point, a quarterback that throws for 93 yards and yet still win. But you got to have that kind of speaks to me anyway, the acquisitions, whether they be through the draft, free agency, undrafted free agents, low draft picks, whatever, however the Bears acquire the talent they have around them and the mindset that they all have, to me speaks volumes for the way this organization, starting with Ryan Poles and his staff and all the way down, have kind of all bought into this. And I honestly love what I'm seeing, given where this club has been, I'd say, 3 years ago?
Yeah, no question about it. When they
the trajectory is definitely
rebuild.
different.
Yeah,
the trajectory is definitely different, right? And that, I guess, from us, it's refreshing to see an actual plan, not just a bunch of people playing video game football, which I feel never works. But hell, other teams doing it, it does work. I don't know. But I wanted to get into something real personal for me with the quarterback play, right? I want to give Caleb the best opportunity to succeed. Now, everybody talk about Olin Cruz. Everybody talk about, before then, Jay Hilgenberg.
Mm-hmm.
Those that know ball, you played with a pretty good center here in your time with Jerry Fontenot, right?
No doubt. Yep.
What's going on with the center position with Coleman Shelton? Because that is going to be a problem. And you already mentioned the platoon of Ryan Bates and Nate Davis just looking like they don't want to play football. So what if we can't get the center position right? Aren't we kind of like doing the same thing that we did to Justin with like no center guard help?
Certainly, you'd like to have it be better than it currently is, because the center and the right guard spot, that's, what is that, 40% of your offensive line. But that also means that the other 3 spots are pretty damn good. And so I think, like I was alluding to before, yes, you'd love to have one, if not both of those positions shored up, like from the get-go.
Okay.
Currently, they're not. And what to do about that, I'm sure the offensive line coach and the staff have been kind of seeing this day coming and have been living this day throughout training camp. So this is nothing new. And you're right.
Wait,
I don't know.
They knew this was going to happen, and they didn't go get a guy?
They had a plan in play in case it was going to happen.
I got it. But Nate Davis, since the day he got here, has been not here more than he's been here.
Yeah.
And
correct.
And so I think we can all see that. And then the proof came on the field, which the proof comes every day in practice also. So they did see this coming. Ryan Bates, I don't know how tall he is, but he got to be like 6'5", 6'6", and he never bends his knees once he gets out of his stance, and therefore that's why this defensive tackle from the Tennessee Titans literally lifted him off his feet at 300 whatever pounds, and the first thing to hit the ground was the back of his head, and that was ball pass protecting. So there is an issue. I'm just telling you, you're right. You're not seeing anything that no one else isn't. And so the idea, and I don't know the answer to your question, how to get that resolved, because maybe the guy right now isn't on the roster. Maybe one of those three guys will develop over time. I don't know. But I think that this coaching staff and the scouting and Ryan Poles and his staff, they're not going to wait forever for people to get it right. Yeah. They're all professionals too, and they have to assess, okay, who is out there that can make us better tomorrow than we currently are today.
That's true.
I don't have the answer to that.
Yeah.
And I don't either. And there, if you don't mind, there's a person just in the chat here, how easy or hard or easy was it for me coming from Detroit to Chicago? And that's a great question, because in Chicago, in Detroit, I played in, I think, 4 different systems in 4 years. But none of those systems was like what we ran in Chicago. And so it took me probably a year to get really comfortable with what I was doing. And so, again, that goes back. And now I'd been playing came here in 94. So I've been playing a while, playing several years before coming to Chicago. And and it took a while. So that's what I think, that, when it comes to, and we're just talking about Caleb Williams, I think, I'm hopeful. I'll say this. You're right, JB. He has shown signs that, hey, maybe he's never going to get it. Maybe just playing the game simple isn't part of who he is. I don't know that to be true, but if that isn't who he is, if he can't play this game simple, he's not going to be playing it very long. At least not as a starting quarterback.
I mean, it's truthful, so give it to me real, give it to me raw. But
it's not looking good. And Eberflus came out today. I know there was a lot of talk that people were saying that Nate Davis was benched. He wasn't benched. Eberflus came out, said that they were having him and Bates rotating.
Yeah, because none of them practice. Because they don't practice. They weren't in shape.
And that might be true. They don't
yeah, that was the platoon thing.
Yeah. So
we knew that, but like, it's hard because, and Eric, I want to go back before we break down some highlights with you, because we really want to hear what you got to say about that. But just like you spoke about the systems, like in anything that you do, business, whatever field you're in, the systems are more important than people actually give credit to, right? But I agree with you. Yeah. In this case, the systems to me are different, because I don't remember, besides, and I could be wrong, but besides like Lomas Brown, like I don't remember you having the greatest line with you in Detroit. But when you got here, at least you had Jerry Fontenot, you had Todd Berger, you had Perry, like you had a couple of guys, right?
Oh yeah,
so
Andy
that kind of
enhanced
play, right? And that kind of unlocked your potential. Like, oh, now I don't have to get the ball out in 1.23 seconds. I can get it out in 2.5 seconds because this guy is actually going to protect my blind side. And I don't have to worry about getting crashed, dummied down the middle.
Well,
we haven't gotten that right yet.
I feel your pain. I do. And I'm going
to
say.
No, you felt it for real.
That's a good point.
But I'll say this again: the 1995 was my best season as a pro, and I only got sacked 15 times.
Yes.
Okay, and in all those pass attempts, got sacked 15 times. That's an unbelievable. So you're right. It was a combination of the offensive line, but it was also making quick decisions and not holding the ball. And like I was saying, your feet and eyes need to work together to get you from receiver 1 to 2 to 3, and sometimes 3 is running. And there's that fluidness that right now Caleb Williams isn't playing with. And so he can help an offensive line that's struggling
by getting rid of it quickly.
By doing that. And it's not clearly he's athletic enough. Clearly his arm is...
He's got a cannon.
Speaks for itself. And so it's really just him getting reps and comfortable and having the goal. Like I remember when I came to the Bears, and I didn't know this offense was named or anything. And I go to Ron Turner, and who at that time was a quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. And I was replacing Harbaugh. And I said, I go to his office and I said, give me, who's played in this offense that's done it really well? And he goes, hold on a second. And he turns, and this is in the VHS days. And he turns around and he puts 5 VHS tapes on the desk. And I go home and I watch them, and guess who they're of? Take a guess.
95?
Back in this 94, yeah.
I would have gone Jim McMahon.
Joe Montana.
Okay.
And so
I was gonna say because he was with the Chiefs then.
He was, but this was all of him 49ers.
Oh, 49ers.
But the same offense. And so the same passing game we ran. And here's a guy that on his best day probably couldn't throw the ball more than 50 yards. 51 would have been a stretch. But he was athletic. He was he delivered the ball accurately. He could move defenders. He was good if he had to move around inside or outside the pocket. And so that's basically, and then by the time I was playing, the guy who did it, you guys don't. So back then they had these beta machines, and that's what we watched.
Betamax. I remember Betamax. Yeah.
And so it would go down to the 100th of a second. So Steve Young would drop back, and if he was throwing, the equivalent of a, third inside step speed out on the sideline, the ball would be at 12 yards and be out of his hand at like 2.1 seconds. And I have a friend that I played in college with, Mike Kofor, that was a kicker for the 49ers when they were winning Super Bowl. And so Mike, and this is when Steve Young was being a backup all those years. And he would get so frustrated by not playing. And Mike, who didn't know the first thing about offense, goes, well, all I know is that when Joe drops back, the ball's going like that. And when you drop back, the ball's gone like.
Okay.
Now, guess who's in the Hall of Fame today? Both of them. So my point here is that Caleb Williams today is not the Caleb Williams that might be there a year or 2 or 3 from now.
Exactly.
I just hope
we're hoping it's just a year from
it will be here, but I'm telling you that the Caleb Williams, the way he processes what he sees today, is not going to be the same Caleb Williams we see in a couple years. That's if I was a betting man, which I'm not, that would be my bet.
So let's break down some Caleb Williams tapes. Let's see. Yeah. This is my first time doing it this specific way, so I want to see how it works. So,
do you need me to pull it up, or are you guys going to?
No, I'll pull them up.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Getting everything set. I probably should have had it set before I said that. Oh, that would have probably made more sense. All right.
That's
Here,
why,
here,
Frank,
here we got play
at
one
this
right here.
point, Frank, this is probably why you're not in the Hall of Fame.
I won't be.
It's little details like this that are potentially keeping you out.
Exactly. All right, here we go.
The attention to detail, Frank.
See it?
So here's the first
Nothing
play.
there. Okay. Why is nothing there? They're playing cover 2. All right. So they're playing zone.
So don't
coverage
mind the
on 3rd and 3.
drawings,
This is
guys.
a
I was taking this off
man-to-man
somebody
play.
else's
Would love to see
breakdown,
Caleb
but
Can
Eric's
you
going to
lower
show
the
us what he
pocket a
sees.
little bit more.
Frank, can you
and
lower the
throw
volume on this?
the shallow
Wait, you can hear
cross
volume?
right
I
here.
have volume on.
Doesn't happen for him.
I don't even
Pocket
have volume
collapses.
on
That's
my
another.
end.
There we go.
All
Okay.
right, here,
so,
I'll start it over. Here we go.
okay, so here, if you can take it back. Okay, see how there's 2 safeties up top? Okay.
Yes.
There's a guy for the Bears that's running across the middle of the field. The safety that's up at the top there is going to come down and pick him up as he's crossing, which is going to leave Keenan Allen down here at about the 45-yard line, running an out route wide open. So when someone's getting doubled, everyone else is singled up. And Caleb Williams, here's a perfect example of him missing the guy who would have gotten the first down. And then again, he's trying to throw the ball to somebody on some wild scramble that's not open, when the game simply could have been first down.
Yeah. And that's
Check
one thing
cover
that
2,
scares me
come to
right
the line,
there.
identify your safeties.
Yep, it had that look of cover 2, but as soon as the play happened, and now you've got a crosser, that backside safety comes down.
Backside
Pick him up.
like
right?
a bang
And so
concept.
that means the front side safety from the trip side, he rotates back to the middle. That leaves everybody else on the left side for the offense one-on-one.
One
And
single
then
cover. That's
I
what
got
you want.
one-on-one. Jeff, we had a guy named Jeff Graham who reminds me a bit of Keenan Allen. And if you got Jeff Graham one-on-one, like wherever he was at the top of the stem, that's because he put you there. And that's very much like Keenan Allen. So, and that's why I'm saying, I mean, you've got the receiver coming down on the other side, doubling your crosser, and you've got Keenan Allen matched up on a guy who's inside technique, who Keenan Allen's now running an out route.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's your mind has to think like, okay, they do this, then I'm going here. And the ball would have been gone like that.
Yeah, but I mean, and I agree with that ball getting done really quickly. But I mean, at first he did look, but then all of a sudden that front pocket broke down, because I think that was one of the first plays where the center got destroyed.
Okay.
and he did have somebody
I didn't
in
see
his
it. I
face
saw him
right away.
prematurely step up, though, Frank. I didn't see him.
He took like a mini
would've
step
thought
up
it was-
until, yeah. I saw like a mini step up until he saw the pressure and then he rolled out.
Yeah. My thought
He
here
looked like
watching
a quick
that was-
3-step drop.
my thought watching that was, if he would have taken a normal 5-step drop with the normal hitch footwork, that ball would have been out of his hand before anybody got near him.
And you're hoping that's a learning lesson. I mean, you watch tape and you learn that stuff. Exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Painful lessons to learn, but ones you got to.
it is. All right, let's break
Yeah.
2.
It's getting a little crazy because I don't want him to revert back to those USC days.
Me too.
Where he's trying to force something instead of taking off and running. He's trying to wait till something open, because in the NFL those windows close too damn fast, and he was end up going a lot of picks.
I hear you, foul mouth. Not the recipe to get you in the Hall of Fame with that.
Yeah.
All right, so here we got second play.
All right, so obviously DJ Moore is going to be running from right to left. And again, there's a safety that looks like probably going to be doubling him up, which is going to free someone else up. Okay, so here's the one where this is exactly what – so now Keenan Allen's on the left. That's who's getting circled. His guy's outside technique, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. You think, oh, he's outside technique, and the receiver's running an outside route. He's not going to be open. Yes, he is. Because as long as Keenan Allen goes vertical, that's going to create that DB is going to have to run over the top of that. And as soon as he does, down goes the foot in the ground, and now he's got an open break. And now he reads it perfectly, in rhythm, ball on time, on target, first down.
Question, EK, was that
yes,
originally supposed to go to DJ? Because it looked like they bracketed DJ from the line on a single high, right?
Right. There's sort of the idea. The way I would answer that is there's really the passing plays aren't designed with this is where it's designed to go.
Okay.
So they're designed that the defense kind of tells you where to go. Like you let them say, based on the coverage we're running, this is where you should go. And then it's the technique of the receivers that beat that coverage. And then that's what helps you as a quarterback stay in rhythm with your drop back and the way you hitch or don't into the throws.
Okay. That's good to know, because it almost looked like he stared down Keenan on that, but I'm not mad because that's a great route.
Well, and the other thing I'll say is this, that in man coverage, which that was, sometimes you want to get a guy, once you build some chemistry with somebody, and clearly Keenan Allen is one of those people that he's going to win a hell of a lot more than he's not when it comes to beating man coverage. And so there you go. Like inside coverage, outside coverage. I don't care. When it's man, that's where I'm going.
Good. It's a good bet. Got you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's hit up play 3.
So this
that
is, I think,
like
a bootleg. Right? Yeah, this is so Keenan Allen's going to clear out, and then crosser comes over. That's DJ Moore. And this is a great example of Caleb Williams coming out. There's a defender in his face, so he never really gets to get his momentum going toward the target. He's running away from the line of scrimmage the entire time. And yet he delivers a fairly accurate pass with no room, not a lot of margin for error. Great throw, great catch, first down, move the chains. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, it was very little margin of error.
Did they purposely leave the middle linebacker who was blitzing open on that island like that?
It was,
or did somebody whiff?
Are you talking? I don't know. Are you talking about the protection?
Right, because it was protection left, roll out right, but the middle linebacker was by himself.
Somebody didn't.
It
seemed like somebody didn't hold a block.
Well, yeah. So if he's blitzing up the middle, if that's what you're saying, then one of those offensive linemen who was uncovered should have seen that and should have stoned him on the line of scrimmage, and because you're faking the run action to the offensive left. So you want to invite him to run to that side and then pin him over there, knowing the quarterback's going to be faking the ball coming out the other way. So obviously, one of the offensive linemen, most likely the right guard, didn't have his eyes out and see that.
What a shock. Was the right guard.
Okay. Great.
I like his eye.
Okay, so this is a great example here where you've got really a receiver screen, a running back with 3 receivers out in front of him set up to receive a screen. But look at up top. They left, I think it's DJ Moore up there all by himself, one-on-one, and Caleb does a great job of keeping the free safety and the middle linebacker in the middle of the field, and he's going to throw a tight, shallow post. And delivers the ball really without hesitation, puts his own left foot in the ground, and delivers a nice little shot that's chest high right in front of the numbers. Excellent throw and catch. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, you don't need a whole lot of protection when you're going 5-step drop, no hitch, ball's gone.
Was that diamond? Was that diamond at the bottom of the screen, which was supposed to be the wide receiver? That's diamond.
Yeah. So they've got basically 3 blockers for 2 defenders and a guy that's going to
2 defenders, right?
So he could have gone to that side too and been just fine. Probably got 5, 6, 7 yards out of that, but saw his matchup that he liked. I mean, if I got DJ Moore one-on-one with anybody,
yes,
like that's where the ball is going.
Absolutely.
So this is one here where they're
this
trying to
hurts.
sneak the guy they're circling in the middle there is Cole Kmet, and they're trying to sneak him underneath on a wheel route up the sideline. And this is an example where, okay, it's a bootleg, then throwback, and now you get in a position where Caleb's trying to make too much out of nothing. Like this play is over, throw the ball away. Like throw it over the head of Cole Kmet out of bounds up into the 5th row.
You throw it in the feet. Like, I mean, someone.
Second play, whatever the down distance is, it's now the next down in that distance. It's not, potential for disaster.
Yeah. I think actually if he would have probably stayed to the right, he probably would have gave himself a better shot. Like when he drew right there.
Totally. So there's no way that 300-something pound defensive tackle is going to catch Caleb Williams. No way.
Yeah. No. So if he would have stayed to that right, I think he would have been able to at least get Rome going. Maybe give him an option.
And he had a receiver blocking too if he wanted to run. Yeah.
But this is more that mindset you guys are talking about where, okay, I'm going to now make something miraculous happen. No, don't make something miraculous happen. Throw the freaking ball away.
Yeah.
And don't take a 22-yard sack.
When you're in field goal range on 3rd down.
Yeah. And one thing he's going to have to learn in the NFL, sometimes I know he doesn't like to run, but damn it, you're going to have to run sometimes because you can end up getting a couple extra yards instead of taking a sack or throwing a potential interception, with those off-balance throws that he likes to make. And like we said earlier, those windows close fast in the NFL. We've seen so many quarterbacks try to make that pass, and then next thing you know, that ball is picked off in a damn DB or linebackers going back the other way for a touchdown.
I hear you, but your point is well made here in that if those two dudes got their hand down on a line together and raced for 40 yards, Caleb Williams is going to probably win by 10 yards. So literally, as you just said, you start out going to the right, keep going.
Yep.
There's no one over there. You're probably now once you get there, you saw the receiver who would kind of stop running
wrong
with one DB.
Yep.
And so that DB you're like a point guard. He's either going to chase you and you dump the ball off, or he's going to stay with Rome and you outrun everybody to the sideline.
Exactly.
So those are things that again over time he's going to have to learn how. I don't know where he runs a 40 in, but I'm going to get you. It's in the 4.45 range. But he's also sturdy. So wherever he's going, that doesn't mean he's, not going to win that battle either.
Right.
Yeah. And this is another one where you've got the slot receiver pulling working to the left. I'm talking about pulling the under defender with him, and up top, you've got the receiver running a dig route who does a great job of not only coming flat down the line, he actually loses ground back to the quarterback. So he's protecting the ball from the safety, and then you just don't get an accurate throw, which, he should be protecting the receiver with this throw, even if he's got to go slide down to get it.
That was one of the ones where I would say definitely should have been intercepted. I think his strong bullet arm that he threw actually caused it not to get intercepted. I think.
And that's another thing that people fall in love with, how hard someone throws the ball. This game isn't about throwing the ball hard. It's about throwing the ball, a catchable ball, accurately and on time. And the ball is going to have some arc to it. It should be catchable.
So on this one, shouldn't he have checked out of that?
Well, the coverage, the route is such that it's going to beat this coverage. So that 100%.
Well, I was going to say because looking for run that again, Frank. Because I was going to say, wouldn't Kmet be the better option on that? Yeah, wouldn't Kmet be the better option? Ek, look on the slot. Look where Kmet is at the 10. Wouldn't that have been the better option? Bam, right there.
I feel like he did have a safety.
Is Kmet on the top side or the bottom side?
He's on the bottom.
On the bottom slot.
Okay.
He's on the slot bottom at the 20.
Right. Personally, I would say no, because you've got the back that's coming to the right. So that attracts the Mike linebacker. So now you've basically got a 2-on-1 situation. Forget the safety. You've got the under defender that's getting pulled out with the slot runner up
So
top.
wait, can we pause it right there? Pause it right there, Frank.
Oh,
keep going, just a little bit. Right there. Is that not the throw?
Are you talking about to commit?
I would think that would be the throw, right?
Okay,
it would have been a tough ass throw.
Yeah, that would have been a tough throw.
That's where you and I differ, because you've got a safety that's actually inside leverage there. You've also got the Mike linebacker that's also on that side that he would have to throw over or around, where that's not the case.
Right,
up top.
but before that, what I'm seeing is he got locked onto the left side. If he had went 1-2 back to right, I think commit right off the line because it looks like the DB was passing him off to the safety, but the safety had too much depth.
Okay.
I think
I feel like he would have hit that only if he looked first.
Right.
But this one, if this kid really had hands, that's a pick. Because if you watch, it bounces off his hands and Rome catches it.
Another way to look at this is that if he throws the ball to the same guy and puts the ball on his back shoulder,
it's an easy.
That's an easy catch.
Yeah,
easy catch.
I felt like he threw it to the right person. He just
I do too. If this is me playing right now, I'm going to that guy that he threw to. Well, I just would have put it in a different place.
Well, to me, I feel like the damn whole play was fucked anyway, because you had Khalil Herbert out there who is not a receiving back out there at the fucking why. I'm like, why wasn't Swift in the game? It's a third down. Swift is the receiving back. You got Khalil Herbert out there. Like, why is he out there?
Yeah.
It was fucked.
I'm not saying that was the perfect play call. I'm just saying if that was the play call and that those were the people on the field, that's where I would have been going.
Yeah. I mean, I just much rather have a guy that's a better route runner, a guy that's a better catcher, other football coming out the backfield in DeAndre Swift than Khalil Herbert, because they're already, I mean, like if they're doing their homework, they're like, all right, this Khalil Herbert, we know for a fact the fucking ball is not going to him, So he's not even a fucking factor. So I'll sort of like play a little bit off of him. Like this fucker can't catch a cold at all. So I don't have to worry about him.
If you watch, he ran the route like he knew he wasn't getting the ball.
Yeah, he kind of did. He kind of just went there and kind of held him, I feel like, a little bit. Hey.
Herbert knew it. Foulmouth knew it. Everybody in the stands knew it.
So they knew it.
Right.
They get paid to know it. We know they knew it.
All right. Oh shit, Khalil out here? Fuck, we ain't gotta worry about him.
Next.
Yeah, this is another bootleg throwback here where, again, Keenan Allen's the guy there on the 45-yard line that's going to come spitting out here open, but up on the right side of the blocking.
Oh yeah, this was the money play right there.
Yeah,
blasting game.
Blame blocking on that.
That's going to be an easy, 18, 20-yard completion.
But blasting game got beat clean.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there was anything. I mean, if he would have had a little
bit
of
wasn't Caleb's fault.
No,
that one was.
That was not.
No, that wasn't Caleb's fault at all. If he picks him up, that like Erik said, that's money right there.
Now, running backs, whoever's blocking the end man on the line. In this case, it was blasting game. But you can't get your hips and shoulders turned. You can't, and you're basically eliminating an edge that he would have to run outside and around it. Like you're just basically opening the gate for him to go in a straight line to the quarterback. And that's what happened.
Was that nickel blitz or linebacker blitz outside?
It was a linebacker. Okay. Yeah, they wouldn't have put defensive end, but they wouldn't have had blasting game blocking defensive end. But in any case, that guy was a better pass rusher than blasting game is a pass blocker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. That was money time too.
That was.
See what he's doing.
Oh, not this one. Oh no.
No, this is
So
one
this
I
is
like.
good. This
though.
is a scramble for
This is
a
actually a
person.
good one.
Yep. He gets a little pressure. He has to move around the pocket a little bit. And now, keep in mind, pause it right there. This is an athletic defensive line who doesn't look athletic once Caleb Williams starts running around.
Yeah.
And so
This one scared me because I thought he was going to get crunched.
Yeah, hey, you got to give him credit, Chicago Bear credit for getting that first down, though. But I think like, this is the one thing I like.
It scared me because
I would think this is the one I really liked. Is his eyes were always down the field.
No, because the safety that's getting circled right now, he would be coming down toward the line of scrimmage, covering somebody, and they would be blitzing everybody else. So, no, he's going back to the middle of the field. This is man coverage. But, again, this is Caleb, so whatever's breaking down the field, he does a good job of keeping his eyes up. And great move right there. Now, that's a linebacker that's got zero chance of making that tackle.
Yeah, he used his aggression against him.
He's having to run as fast as he can to get there, and yet Caleb Williams isn't running as fast as he can.
I see Bates on his butt again.
This is when I was talking
I think
about.
both the center and the right guard were on the button.
Where he hit his head.
I guarantee that's not going to make its way onto the teaching tape.
No. No.
That play never happened.
Happened in our eyes, though, that's for sure.
Right. But I think, we saw a good cross-section there, I think, of plays that caused me to be optimistic about Caleb. There's obviously some things that went awry that had nothing to do with his ability to read a coverage or move around. It was pass blocking issues. And there was some things where he definitely is recognizing the coverages. And when he gets what he wants, he knows who to go to and when to go. As in case in point, when Keenan Allen had outside technique, press coverage, yet he's got an outside breaking route. Great. Be patient. He's gonna win that battle, and he stuck with him. Made a great throw, first down. And I think
it's a really nice tape that you can go into into the film room with and look at and be able to develop and digest. And pretty much, this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing good. So this play, your eyes were good. This play, your eyes sucked.
Yeah, the first game jitters, baby.
Yeah, he can say what he wants about him not being nervous. He just doesn't get nervous. Well, I mean, that doesn't reflect in the play. The play showed that you look absolutely nervous out there.
All right.
And I think, I think it's better. It'll be better for Caleb and pretty much everybody in the long run if you're just honest about what it is you're going through. If you get nervous, hey, I was nervous. But to come out and say, the last time I was nervous, I was 8 years old. Well, right. No, because that's not reality.
It sure isn't. Not in the NFL, it ain't.
Do we have the out and up play?
300-pound Neanderthals coming at you.
Those were the only 8 I had.
But yeah, JB, that's a good question about the out and up one. But you're right, and I think that, those are plays that, again, he might not be nervous, okay, but he's certainly not in rhythm. And he's certainly not, knowing what's going to happen before it unfolds, and where you're kind of behind what's happening, you're trying to play catch up. Typically, you're not as accurate, you're not as good a decision maker. It's when everything starts to slow down for you and you start to recognize what's going to happen before it happens. That's when you see people like Caleb and others play at their best.
Oh, man.
Gotcha.
All right, Eric, before we let you go, you want to I know you got a perfect book out there that I own as well. That I got to meet up with you one day to get you signed.
Well, I appreciate the endorsement. There's very few things in life that are perfect, but you're right. I did co-author a book called The Ultimate Comeback, Surviving a Suicide Attempt, Conquering Depression, and Living with a Purpose. And having done all three of those things and dealt with all three, I've dealt with depression while playing football in the NFL. I've dealt with self-doubt, anxiety, a lot of things, and I've lost a son, Griffin, I'm divorced now for 12 years, I think, and life takes all sorts of twists and turns. But the purpose I live with today, depression is a distant memory, but what isn't a distant memory is the proactive I approach to my own mental health now, which is I've built my own and cultivate my own, what I would call a home team. And those are people that are, that I trust and that I can either reach out to, doesn't matter, doesn't have to be bad times, good times too. And that will also also aren't shy when it comes to, if they see something in me that would cause them to say, is everything all right? I've noticed X, Y, and Z. Are you sure you're okay? And it's free. I do go to a therapist, but the things that I'm in the process right now of getting 2 nonprofits off the ground. One is called Mental Health Touchdown. It's we're going to start out as a pilot program. We've got a curriculum writer now that we're working with. It's going to start out as an after-school program for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, along with their entire family. And the other one is I'm starting a passing camp. I've done this several times over the years, but not like this. So we're going to be working with young high school kids, preferably those that have just finished their freshman year of high school, and at all positions. And so I've got several. I happen to live in an area where it doesn't matter the sport. This is kind of like as good a town as there is in the country. And so a lot of these, but it's not, there are pockets of it that are not well-to-do at all. And so I think we're going to end up changing some kids' lives and families' lives in this process.
It's a great story, man.
Man, I love that, Eric.
Love it. I love that stuff. Absolutely.
In fact, Jerry Fontenot.
And people need to see it's available.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And Jerry Fontenot, who you just mentioned, Jerry's gonna, even though he still lives in Deerfield, he's gonna come out here for long stretches and stay with me. And there's a guy, Marvell Smith, who played left tackle for the Steelers for their last 2 Super Bowls. He lives out in this area too. He's not going to be able to do it this year, but there's and Curtis. If Curtis still lived here, he would have done it. Curtis and his family now live in.
Yeah, he's down in Atlanta, right?
He lives in the Atlanta area. Yeah. But there's some kids that, like, there's one kid, Shea Pitts. I coached in youth football. He played at UCLA,
nice.
And he's now coaching at UCLA. And so, anyway, we're going to have, and this is just going to grow and get better, every year. So I'm really excited about, this sort of feeling I have with living with a purpose. I've got several. I've got a son, Dylan, who's now 26 and, doing well in life. And so things are good, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, we love it. We love to hear that. Love to hear the success stories.
All right, and we'll let you.
on. Every time you come on, I'm like a giddy little kid.
Oh,
like,
absolutely. Like, I mean, I may say I'm clearly the youngest on this show, but you were the very first Bears jersey I owned, the very first Bears action figure I owned too, because I remember that little handoff bear. That only thing that moved was the football. Like it was, like I still remember those.
I appreciate that. I was just this past weekend, so I went to NC State, and we played Tennessee in Charlotte. And I've got a cousin, John White, and his wife, Monica, who I met when I went to NC State. And so we went out there and watched the game. And, of course, it was a complete ass whipping by Tennessee over NC State. But Ron Turner also lives out there, he and his wife, Wendy. And so they came over and had breakfast one morning. And it was just, you know, I told Ron, I said, you know, I'm going to be, and I told him about a year ago that I was going to be doing this camp. And I learned so, like he was telling me, you know, all these records you have, Erik, and did you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, that was in part, that was in large part collaboration with him. And, and he was just, I told him, I said, I learned so much from you. When he left the Bears, he went to University of Illinois and was their head coach, which is another school I got recruited to out of junior college. And you know, I missed seeing him. You know, we had Matt Cavanaugh as a quarterback coach and offensive coordinator also after Ron left. But Ron's a special guy. And that's the thing is you get these relationships with people and, you know, it'll last you a lifetime. I told Ron, I said,
so everybody,
I told Ron, I said, if
we had a few people asking about your book, Erik, I grabbed the link off Amazon for you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we just
all you guys got to do if this looks crazy and you think it's probably spam or something like that, it's not. All you got to do is go to Amazon and type in The Ultimate Comeback. That's all you got to do.
I was going to say this. We're in the process right now on the website, which is erikkramer12.com. We're in the process. I'm going to say this is probably a month or less away that you can get the book right through the website. And if you want an autograph, if you want it scripted, whatever, and there's a price, there'll be whatever, because it's not Amazon, so it's free shipping it.
Wish I would have known that before I bought your book a few months ago.
Well, it'll. My point is, I'll come back on, or I'll give you. I'll text you or something and let you know when that can happen. Because somebody, you know,
I'll order another one.
Yeah, it's. I'll tell you this. The guy that. So it's my story, and the guy that wrote it is a guy named Bill Croyle, and he actually approached, not me. There was an article written about my story by Dan Wetzel, and so.
Oh, I know Dan. Yeah.
So yeah, Dan writes for Yahoo Sports, and he's in Ann Arbor, and so Bill contacted. So Anna was actually, my girlfriend Anna was actually quoted more in there than I was. So I don't know how he got a hold of her, but he did. And she says, hey, there's a guy named Bill Croyle that would like to talk to you about writing a book together. And I'm like, really? And so I didn't know who he was. And so finally I got back to him, and he's written like, I don't know, 13 or 14 books. And I said, give me the name of one of them to go read. And he goes, well, I don't know, you know, and so he wrote a book that I read called Angel in the Rubble, and it's about a woman who was the last survivor from the 9/11 attacks.
Oh, wow!
And you could tell. I mean, you could tell in a couple of paragraphs. I mean, clearly he knows what he's doing, and so it was just a great collaboration. And I would literally. This was back in the days when I wasn't sleeping much, and Bill's back in the kind of in Kentucky, but across the river from Cincinnati. And so it was a 3-hour time difference. And I wasn't doing much sleeping back then. So I would be up at literally 3 or 4 in the morning, which for him was perfect. So we'd talk on the phone, and what an amazing writer he is.
Erik, we got 2 more questions before we let you go. One is in the chat
Yes,
from
sir.
Illinois Jones. What is your favorite movie?
Oh man, there's quite a few that I could name. Well, it's hard to go in no particular order. I would say Shawshank Redemption. Maybe it was just on today. Goodfellas.
Never go wrong with Goodfellas.
Right?
Can't go wrong with good Henry Hill, baby.
So I don't know. I would say that's. So I'd start with that. I could put those 2 on repeat all day, every day, and be just fine.
Shawshank, I watch. Goodfellas, Beautiful Mind. Every time those come on, I just
Pretty much anything with Morgan Freeman in it is good for me.
It's a winner.
Nice. Now the big question. How do you think this game this weekend is going to go? And I'm going to give you a little revisionist history. The offensive coordinator of the Texans is actually the son of one of your defensive coordinators, Bobby Slowick, the junior.
Right.
Bob Slowick, remember, was your D coordinator.
And you may not know this, but prior to coming to Detroit, I played for the Calgary Stampeders in the CFL for a year and a half. And that's where Bob was not coaching linebackers.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where Bob was not coaching linebackers. And I reached out to him. In
Really?
fact, yeah. And there's a player that I coached in youth football that's a linebacker for the Stampeders.
Okay.
And so Bob was actually somebody I reached out to potentially be kind of a virtual defensive coordinator for this camp. And and so we'll see. But anyway, but you're right. And Bobby's done a great job as Houston's offensive coordinator. And
he will be a head coach very soon.
No doubt. No doubt. And so I think that if you're asking me for a prediction, I think the Bears defense is once again going to show up. So special teams is going to show up. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Caleb Williams is going to have a day where he throws about 60%, probably for about 150 yards, maybe a touchdown or 2. And I'm going to say it's going to be a close game. I'll give the edge. It's at Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
it's at Houston, yes.
Okay. So I'll give the edge to Houston and say they're going to win the game. Let's say 24-21.
Okay. So, right. Because I think right now it's 4.5 is the spread for Houston. But right there, that's about right. Because at home, you're supposed to get 3 at home.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And, I think even though I think the Bears by the end of the season will be playing, especially offensively, at a different level than they currently are, right now they're not.
God, I hope so.
And I think Houston looks like they're in mid-season form.
Already, yes.
Already.
All right.
So I think it would be a big upset for the Bears to come away with a win
It'd be huge for them.
this early in the season.
Yeah, it would be huge for them if they did.
I mean, Caleb Williams would have to take a step up into the 25 for 30, 285, 315 yards type of day, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, that kind of day. Which I don't see him. I would too. He's going to have that kind of day this year. I just don't think it's going to come next Sunday.
Yeah. All right, Erik. I thanks for coming on, man. It's always a blast having you on. We'll definitely have you on again.
Well, you guys are fun, man. It's a good crew. Who doesn't want to be on around a bunch of passionate Bear fans that can't get enough? So
yeah.
I include myself in that family too. So
you are in that family. You are a Bear family for life.
Yes, sir.
And
all right, fellas. You
guys have a good rest of your night.
Enjoy the week of preparation. Yes, absolutely.
Preparation and stress. That's what Bears players do to Bears fans. So
that's right, baby. All right, man. You guys be good.
Take care. Take care.
Did you say preparation H?
No, he said
preparation. I don't think I recall seeing the H come out, but you know.
You said preparation something. It sounded like you said preparation H. Like, wait a minute, you got hemorrhoids, man? What's going on?
Nah. He said preparation and stress. I guess we're trying to get easy up in here. All I see is a circle.
Hey guys,
a beard and a Hawaiian.
Hello, Easy.
Hello.
Magnum PI.
What did you call me?
You call him Magnum PI. I call him just a straight up dick.
I've been called. I've gotten many nicknames on the show. 2% milk.
I think you came up with the 2% milk, dude.
Someone definitely said I was 2% milk. I don't remember who it was.
Somebody did say that. Okay, I remember.
I'm pretty
sure.
Going with it, so. But yeah, great. I love winning, guys. That was really cool. This is the first time I've ever talked to y'all while we've been over 500.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah,
thanks for bringing
that's
that.
sad.
That's real.
Every time you come in here, you kill the fucking vibe.
I don't know about that because the vibe was pretty much dead when I first came in 22, I believe it was, and we had just lost to the Dolphins. Yeah, I mean it's a.
I remember that game
obviously been a rough go, but man, how about that defense, guys? That's so much fun to watch. I just love watching that shit. But yeah, I'm just glad we won on Sunday. That's where I'm at.
I think we all are.
Yeah,
let's get into some shout outs and easy lay out some what's going on with you now. We'll do our shout outs. The last time we did our predictions on the shout outs.
Yeah, and I'll do my prediction.
We did last week as predictions on the shout outs.
Yeah, we go on to 2 hours and 30 minutes now.
Well, look, I'm
with good reason.
Easy Does It season 3 premieres on Friday night, probably at about 8 p.m. Central Time.
Or whenever you
tune in for that. You'll get some really spicy, crazy takes, as always. I'm going to go through the slate of games. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen in each game. Actually, I was only 11-5 week 1, which isn't great, but isn't terrible. But still, it wasn't embarrassingly bad. But yeah, no. We'll talk a lot about that because Thursday night is coming up. I do think the Bills will go into Miami and win. I just think they're better. It'll come down to the quarterbacks, and I think they have a better quarterback.
As long as nobody gets arrested.
Yes, as long as nobody gets arrested this time around, that would be great.
Let's not go there, yeah.
For everybody involved. But yeah, definitely excited about the Bears this year, and we're gonna have a lot to talk about. But also on Sunday, on Sunday, Bears going to Houston to play the Texans. What'd you say?
I'm just thinking about what you said, 11-5, and I think it's 3 games that you definitely got wrong. Cincinnati losing to the Patriots because nobody thought that. Atlanta should have beat Pittsburgh. We thought that would have happened. And is the other one? What was the other one? Because there was, I don't think the Bills game. Nobody.
I was slightly inebriated.
Yeah, Jay.
When I filled out one of the picks, I put the Giants over the Vikings, but I meant to do it the other way around. But I can't take credit for that because I got it wrong. I thought I knew the Vikings would win that game. I just put the wrong thing in there, and then what else? What was the other one? Oh, I picked the Rams to upset the Lions. That was like my freaky pick. But,
Not a bad upset. Right?
It was close.
That was a good game. That was a really good game.
It was a fun game. I like that game. But But yeah, it's
You don't have to give us your predictions if you don't want, because I'm sure you would rather.
I'll spoil it. I'll spoil it because really, I'm gonna talk a lot about it anyway on Friday.
Right,
but yeah, I do think the Texans will win. I also think that if we're budgeting for losses this year, this is going to be an okay game to lose. And usually, I'm not cool with losing. We all like winning is so much better than losing. But like on the road, prime time against a really strong up and coming team. I really just want to see these guys. Like, I want to see the Bears fight. I want to see the offense play a lot better. And obviously, I want to see us win. That's the most important thing. But, like when all said and done, like, I don't think lose. Like, I feel like the game plan was so conservative week one. I hope we see Shane Waldron open up the playbook just a little bit against Houston. Because, I think they have a little bit of house money. They got to win out of the way. And now you're going on the road playing a tough game. Like, yeah, go out there, sling it a bit. Caleb, throw some interceptions, whatever. Like, it's okay to make a couple mistakes this game. I want to win, but also, like, I want to see some aggressive offense. That's really what I want to see. But I do think the Texans will come away with it. I like Erik's prediction. I'm gonna say like 26-23, Houston. And that's it. Shout out to all you guys. You guys had a great show.
That's what we do. All right. Get with my shout outs here first. Obviously, shout out to all you guys. Shout out Easy. Happy having you back, man. Glad your show's back. Now I could make your co-host a pain in the ass again. Because I know I keep getting under his skin, which is kind of funny. Good old Noah. Yeah, I love getting under Noah's skin. Ever since he told me the Philadelphia Eagles, he would have. Yeah, we're not going there actually.
It's okay. Y'all,
we're not going there. It's all love though. Other than that, I am gonna give one big shout out, and I'm giving it to my 8-year-old son, who had his second ever jiu-jitsu tournament this past weekend and took first place. He does have a little YouTube channel. I did record his championship match. He's so excited about it. It was a great match. And quick little prediction for it. He was down 6-2 with a minute left, and he flipped it and won 17-6. So he just finished strong and dominated at the end of the match, which was great.
Good shit.
Yeah, and he already said he wants to do another one this upcoming month. I'm like, yeah, let's pump the brakes, dude. That shit ain't cheap. But other than that, predictions. I'm going with a little bit of a crazy prediction here, actually, and I am giving Texans the win though, but a 24-23 last minute field goal. Houston takes it.
Brutal.
Really?
24-23. I still have our defense playing strong. Caleb playing better, but he is going to get sacked. I do see a fumble coming out of him for some odd reason on a blindside hit or something like that on a Braxton Jones miss. But other than that, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a close game, 24-23, but I am giving it to Houston because it's in Houston.
Wow.
Here we go, JB. Just say it. Wait. Actually, before you even say it, let me get my ringer here. Hold on. I gotta find it. There it is.
Well, let me take the winning hat off and put on the regular hat. So here's the thing. Game one jitters and all that. Struggled mightily against a solid Titans defense. The defense that we're about to play is like 5 times better than the Titans defense. That scares me.
Yeah.
That's
maybe 3 times better. Maybe that.
Well, I already told you they were talking about Simmons and Sweat. They got that. I can never say his name right, but the Fatoki guy is like 6'4", 320. Like, that's a big dude, and he just Aaron Donald's people. Like, it's not just about Hunter and Will Henderson Jr. Like, they have a wall. But any given Sunday, right? So the way I think it's going to go, and I'm just going to be honest with y'all, I think it's a blowout. think it's a blowout. I got the Texans 34 to 14. 34 to 13, I'm sorry. 34 to 13.
Wow.
I was close last. Hey, look, I said 21-17 Bears over the Titans. It was 24-17. I was close.
Well, hope you're not close this time.
I hope you're way the fuck off this time.
Especially, look.
I hope we get a point and laugh at you.
But look, I thought about this objectively because no Rome and Keenan's day to day. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, no question.
Bates, Davis, Coleman, Shelton. That's gonna hurt.
We're just saying their names.
As much as I'm trying to taper my actual Bears fandom with this, I have to be realistic. And I just don't see an easy win for them. Now, I'm not saying that the ball can't bounce this way, that way, and we get lucky like we did. I just don't see it with this team.
It'll be interesting to see how the defense does.
13 points. Are you giving Caleb his first touchdown?
No, I got Swift. I think the 3 interceptions that could have been, I think Caleb throws 2. Because this is Stingley Jr., this is Jalen Petrie. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you are wearing a Justin Fields jersey while saying it. So.
Hey.
It's all love.
It's Jimmy Ward.
No, their defense is not anything to mess with. And their defense was elite last year. And all they did was get better. So it's going to be scary. All you got to hope is Waldron has a...
Did y'all talk about how good... Did y'all talk about how amazing TJ Edwards was on Sunday, by the way?
He did have one missed tackle.
He's always... as he is... He's the new Lance Briggs. He's going to rack up all this.
Yes, no question. And you need those for sure.
He's better in coverage. He's better in coverage than Greenwood.
The thing that I'm giving the Bears somewhat of a benefit of a doubt in this game to at least keep it close is I do think Waldron is going to put in a good game plan where at least you're going to see the sticks moving. You're going to keep them off balance.
I'm telling you.
I feel like they're going to improve this game after week 1 offensively.
So wait.
Defensively, I just... Yeah.
It's going to be more
apology,
aggressive.
Frank, because let's not act like Waldron had a bad game plan. Caleb missed a lot of easy throws.
He did. And I mean, this is the thing. I don't expect him to miss at least all of those again.
I'm not saying he should, but the pressure is different, and you got to run the ball. Swift cannot run the ball 10 times against the Texans.
And I'm gonna bring up something in the comments right now. Jay Grizz, throw the ball to Komet. Komet's not going to see the ball this week because he's going to be on the line blocking. Especially when you're missing receivers a lot, you're going to see a lot of 2 tight ends.
They're going to have their hands full with Will Anderson.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of 2 tight end runs or plays.
You have to because of the pressure that they're gonna bring.
You might see Komet with the brush off block and maybe some quick little slant type plays or something like that. But I don't expect much from Komet this game, especially with that dominant 2 pass rusher. All right, out on you. Oh no, JB. Never mind. We didn't even start yours yet. You just.
So that's my 34-13.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out first and foremost to Melissa Shue. Came in early and wanted to personally thank the Chicago Clubhouse podcast for helping stock her classroom library. Shout out to your work.
Can I make a quick point? Can I make a quick point?
Absolutely.
An interesting point.
Yes.
A pro Bears point. Darnell Wright, when he played against Will Anderson in college, their matchup, Darnell more than held his own. He had a really good game against a really good pass rusher. Will Anderson is
Tennessee.
Yeah, yes, when is at Tennessee. Will Anderson, he's a force with the Texans, but that's just a matchup to look out for. It's going to be interesting.
It will be interesting, but that's where I'm going with this one is Darnell Wright also had a very damn good offensive line next to him as well.
True.
As opposed to who the fuck is his right guard? It's gonna be some scary shit.
It's not Ruben Brown.
Nate
It'll be
Bates
somebody.
or Ryan Davis.
Yeah, it'll be
one?
somebody. They're gonna have a name and they're gonna be in a Bears jersey.
So
All right.
continuing on. Hey, shout out to Jeanette Johnson, one of our P1s, for chiming in early and often. Hey, we still want to know no matter what. Jeanette, you are right. Thank you for that. David Augustine came in and then he just kind of dipped off. David, we were trying to get you on the show, man. Come on back. Brand new, Illinois Jones. Illinois Jones was on fire, had a lot to say. Somebody just known as John. Thank you for chiming in, John. We appreciate you. Dedrick Boyd, thank you for chiming in. I remember Dedrick, he's been on the show before. Absolutely Matt Henry. Thank you for chiming in. We appreciate it. Keith Sperry. Keith Sperry is a P1 who joined in and had a lot of good conversation with us on and off the chat. We thank you, Keith, for chiming in. Daryl, I'm just saying this, Daryl Gangsta Love. He had the best comment of the night. Bears won and the sorry Chicago media talking like we lost. Now, me and you talked about that before, how that media skews everything. But they got the biggest mic. It's terrible, right?
Terrible. Horrible.
But shout out to Daryl. Jeremy Bowman was chiming in. Jeremy Bowman was one of our P1s. Thank you for chiming in, Jeremy. We appreciate the love. A lot of back and forth. Hey, my man Tucson J chimed in. Tucson came back. He's always with us. Hey, welcome back, Miss Heidi Zimmerman. Love when Heidi's on. Gave a couple of shout outs in the chat. We appreciate that. In our social media chat, I want to send a shout out to Amber Dawn and the Edinger family. Always looking out. We appreciate you guys. Jay Grizz, thank you for chiming in. Hey, Don Burr. Don Burr may be a Lions fan, but he is serving our country. So salute to service, and Don Burr takes the time to come out here and talk to us. So we appreciate Don Burr. Crooked Commish, our producer, our super producer in the background, took the time out from putting on them fancy commercials and putting up y'all chats. Chime in. So we thank and love him. Thank you, Crooked Commish. Easy. Always my brother. Thank you for chiming in. You here in the flesh. Glad to have you back, brother. It's been a minute. But glad to have you back. We'll talk. You know how we go. Love it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I want to give a shout out to my brothers, Frank the Tank, Foulmouth. I would love to shout out T Nick, but now he's like Ghost. Like he was here and he's gone. Like where the hell is T Nick, man? Anybody? Bueller.
Fry.
Oh, you almost had it. You're going to be quicker than that.
Well,
you're quicker than that.
I thought you had one more person to shout out to.
I do. Shout out Grogu and shout out SB and shout out if I only got one person. If we only have one person. She was the very first person to chime in. Podcast mom, Miss Sandra Bonham Holmes. Love you, lady.
Okay.
And cut Valen Jones.
Okay, well,
you know what? I'm actually Erik Kramer had a very nice take on Velvet Jones. I wish
I forgot to bring it up.
But yeah, I should have brought it up with him because he had a very good take on him, and he actually sided with Foul on this one, where he was like, "Listen, he's fucking up, and he's fucking up a lot. There's no question about that. But nobody's gonna want to play against this guy when he figures it the fuck out, because he is just explosive when he has that ball in his hand."
Just don't.
And he's not wrong on that one, but the key thing is he's got to get the ball in his hand.
Just hand it off to him.
I mean, the thing is, like I tell people, he was the number 2 kick returner in the NFL last year.
And then his first kickoff, he fumbled.
Yeah.
It's just like, whoa, what the hell, man? We finally had something good to say.
Yeah. Okay, so my prediction for the game will be I was close on this one. I had it 24-13, but it ended up being 24-17. This one I will go 17-14 Texans.
17-14.
Low scoring.
Yeah.
No love for Cairo?
Huh?
No love for Cairo?
Yeah, I have Cairo on my fantasy team, dude. He
Yeah, got to get him a field goal in there.
Can you say 20-17 at least?
Maybe it'll be like the
Give me one field goal.
Two safeties.
All right, fuck it. 2017.
150 plus yard field goal. I'm good.
That's for. Oh, matter of fact, MVP of the game, our new defensive end, Mr. Taylor. He was the MVP of the game for me. 2 sacks.
Yeah, he was great.
Forced fumble. What can you say?
Give it
He
to
plays
Cairo.
like that, and with Montez Sweat, hey, that just made that defense a lot scarier.
And there's some good runner-ups. So you could throw
Billings.
Hardy in there with that monster block.
Yeah.
I thought Billings was great.
Billings always plays well, just behind the scenes. Like, he doesn't get noticed as much.
Yeah, I mean, shit, he's playing those tackles. So
Yeah,
But
exactly.
anyway, let me go. Like T-Nick ass. Anyway, so my shout outs. First of all, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Signature, Hugh, In the Zone, Vision.
But you got to have vision.
Because you got to have that vision. Who else? We got the new guys. Moore's Beer, of course. Shout out to Moore's Beer. Caught those guys this weekend. Ran into them this weekend. Fantasy Jocks. Shout out to Fantasy Jocks. Anytime you want to get your fantasy hardware, belts, rings, whatever, Fantasy Jocks does have that. Shout out to the chat. The chat was lit tonight. Shout out to my brothers. Easy. Nice seeing you again, brother.
You too, man.
Frank the Tank. JB. The super producer in the back, the crooked commish. Yeah, I'm going to do it in my New York style voice now. Also, I want to give a shout out to T-Nick, who went back there. He ain't doing number 1. He ain't doing number 2. He probably went and did a number 3. I let your minds wonder why you think about what a number 3 is. Shout out to my boy.
Bayless didn't have vision, but where is T-Nick?
Shout out to my boy Grogu here. You can catch him on The Mandalorian. You know how he do. Since I did cheers out, Mandalorian season 3 is out. Season 4 should be coming in soon, and he's got his own movie coming out. Check it out, The Mandalorian and Grogu. I also want to give a shout out to the kiddies. They should be asleep because they got school tomorrow. And if they don't, I'm taking their fucking phones. Shout out to my gorgeous fiance. We just had our baby shower over the weekend. I had to put in extra work for that baby shower. I was able to catch the Bears game as well. And other than that, shit. Bear down. And for Frank the Tank, Easy, JB, I'm Foul Mouth C, our boy Grogu, T-Nick, and the Crooked Commish. We out.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
I'm going to be a chicken.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
That's bullshit. Yeah, Easy know what a number 3 is.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
Rest in power, James.